And we are live, waiting for the internet to join us. Hi, Ramon. How are you?
I'm very good, my friend. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for asking. Everybody, my name is Stevie Cade. Welcome to Film Trigger Drive-By News. Here with me is Ramon from Hit or Miss TV.
Greetings and salutations, ladies and gents.
Ladies and gents, and below us is the man. Oh,
Seth. Where's
Seth?
Seth?
Seth. Is he under the? No, I don't know where Seth is. Huh. Well, Seth will be with us whenever he decides to show up, I guess. Seth, are you in the camera? Seth, are you in there?
Seth.
No.
Where's Seth?
Seth is MIA at the moment.
Is he in there? Yeah, you're right.
I couldn't find him in there. All right. Well, Ramon is with us, and you, the audience, are with us as well. Thank you for joining us for Drive-By News. We have a big show today, like a lot of stuff we're going to talk about. That's why we started a half hour early. So before we get too far into any discussions, let's go ahead and you guys ready to start? You ready to do this? All right, let's get triggered in 3, 2, 1. Hey, your excitement just like went way the fuck down.
Yeah, I know. There's that.
So I had to put a little banner at the bottom for Facebook users because it seems to be a common problem, and I don't know why Facebook is giving us this issue. But if you are a Facebook user, click the link at the very bottom of this description on Facebook to show your name. Otherwise, you'll show up as anonymous Facebook user, which is really annoying, especially if you're going to like have a conversation with us. We want to know who you are. So you just
what color hair you've got.
But that's weird. We don't see you, but yeah, that's Ramon's thing. Yeah,
don't it have a photo come up as well?
No.
What about if they've got a hairy back?
What? No, I don't know.
Like hair on their back.
Do you have a hair on your back, Ramon? Oh no.
I've got one. I normally get one, and I have to pull it out every couple of months. Like that one, just one of them, and I go dink, and I'm all I
could imagine was in the Amazing Spider-Man when he pulls the spider out of his back. Like,
don't have to do that for another couple of months. That's that out of the way.
All right, we do have quite a bit to talk about.
Yes.
Let's see here.
I know we're not wait before you jump into saying. I normally do this towards the end of the show. Brand new show that's come out, and I've not done a review for it. It's 12 hours long. It's on Netflix. It's a little bit like Squid Game in the terms it's Korean. If you like Squid Game, you should watch this. It's called All of Us Are Dead, or All of You Are Dead, and it's a zombie horror apocalypse type show, and it's very, very good. But it's 12 hours long, so I just thought I'd get it out of the way.
When you say 12 hours
12
long,
12 episodes.
12 episodes. Okay.
And that's the only thing about it it's a bit long. Like some of these shows, it could have been sort of cut down by maybe 2 or 3, maybe 4 episodes, but it's still a very good show. And if you're into like the Korean stuff, then watch it. And if you love zombies, especially, watch it.
All right.
But I just thought I'd get it out of the way because there'll be people like, might be unsure whether to watch it or not. But
I haven't watched it yet, but I will take Ramon's suggestion and I'll give it a go. All right, so let's dive into some stuff here. So I don't know if you remember a few years ago there was supposed to be a He-Man Masters of the Universe live action movie that was supposed to come out.
Yep.
You remember that? It had Noah Centino or Centino. He was attached to it to play He-Man. But COVID happened. I don't know if it was because of COVID or whatever, but it just never came to fruition. But now Kyle Allen has been cast as He-Man. Here's a picture of Kyle Allen.
Good looking boy,
strapping young lad. Now here's Noah. That was who was supposed to be He-Man at first. But I don't know why he's out. I just don't know if it was just because COVID hit and then things changed. But so this is are you excited for He-Man?
I recognize him, but I don't know where from.
Are you excited for a Masters of the Universe movie?
To be quite honest with you, after the Netflix thing that come out, not really. Like I love
the cartoon.
Yeah, I just thought. Yeah, I just didn't really like it. I mean, I will watch it, but it's not something that if I think I would be excited, I'm really gonna throw the pitch, out there. If it was something like not Vin Diesel, but someone silly, you know what I'm saying? If it was like the right over the top action hero, that kind, like Dolph Lundgren in the original, if it was that kind of vibe, I'd be excited for it because I know they're going to go all out cheesy and make it fun. But this kind of, it doesn't really do anything. No, I'm not like.
Well, that would be an interesting take, especially if they had like a like he's making fun of himself, like he's almost a meathead type of character, but he happens to be the master of the universe.
Bro, Thingy would be funny at that. That dude that all the girls love in High School Musical.
I haven't seen High School Musical. I wouldn't know.
Zac Efron. I think he's awesome, bruv. He would be a funny because he's a built dude anyway. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. Who's action hero guys at the moment? I don't know who you would have.
I mean, I honestly, like you said, The Rock, and I can't get him out of my head to play this character, to play He-Man.
Yeah, it's that sort of The Rock, Vin Diesel, them kind of dudes. It's like you need a beefcake. Because that's what he is, isn't he? Like He-Man's a beefcake. He's supposed to be.
Yeah. So Kyle Allen was in He's in the new West Side Story movie. He's in a movie called All My Life. He's in a movie double feature that's on FX and Hulu. That's about it. He kind of looks like Heath Ledger.
You know what he does, doesn't he? Yeah. He does. That's probably what it is. That's probably what it is.
That's what I was thinking. He looks like Heath Ledger. That's probably
what it. Yeah. I think He-Man needs to, as I say, He-Man needs to be. I'm getting some sort of feedback. I don't know why, if it's from mine or yours.
It has to be on your end. No.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know who I would have. It's got to be a beefcake type dude, though, isn't it? Really.
Well, anybody can be a beefcake. You can beef anybody up. I look at Chris Pratt. I mean,
I'll tell you who I would have. I'd have Channing Tatum, bruv. He would be funny. That's who I would have.
That might be a good redemption movie for him, for Channing Tatum, because I'm not a huge fan of that guy. Like his movies are.
I think he's cool, man.
The road for me.
No, that's what. And I'm the same, but I don't particularly dislike him. Like if there's a thing one with it, other than that, the one with the girls, the stripper one, I ain't seen that. But his other movies, the 21 Jump Street, stuff like that, where it's goofy Channing Tatum and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, man, he's a cool dude. I quite like him. And no, I would back him and say you can have Kevin Hart play.
Well, why not?
and have The Rock play Battle Cat.
Oh, that would be a fun role. That would be a fun role. I would love to see Battle Cat. All right. Well,
but yeah, I love the original. Do you like the not as in the original, but the first live action? I love that. Film,
that movie is a surprising diamond in the rough. People think of Masters of the Universe, they think of that 80s movie, which is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But like when I watched it like a couple of years ago, and I was actually surprised with how good of a movie it actually is. Now, there's a lot of problems with it. The fact that you take He-Man out of his element and put him onto Earth was a dumb idea. But who plays
the whole thing's dumb?
Who plays Skeletor in that movie?
I think it's Martin Landau, bro. And
he did. He was so good as Skeletor.
Do you know what? Yeah, for me, his Skeletor was like a dude that was trying to win a flipping Oscar, bruv. I know it's just a silly comic film, but his performance was so good. Neil, I never knew to you. Bruv, that film is sick.
Oh no,
I never knew to you.
It was Frank Langella. It was Frank Langella. How do you say his last name?
Yeah, Langella. Is it?
Yeah, Langella.
Yeah.
He played Dracula back in the day.
He's just that performance is just. It's one of those. I think that's one of the great villain ones of an underrated movie. His performance.
His performance as Skeletor was completely and utterly underrated. I give you that 100%. So
it's like when you watch some of them movies where the movie overall is like I really love the movie, but it's not like you wouldn't say for the majority of people out there you go, oh, Masters of the Universe was a classic film. and it's one of those kind of movies. But I would put his performance as one of the best as a villain. It's just, yeah. Even when I was a kid and I saw that, he was just great. And it's got that bald dude from Back to the Future in it who plays the cop. Yeah, him. I love it.
The random guy. Yeah.
Yeah, that random dude with the shotgun. I love him. And the girl from Friends, Courtney Cox.
Oh God, yeah, I forgot about the whole yeah. Courtney Cox, yeah, Robert Duncan.
It's got, it's just a wicked movie. I love that film.
Well, James,
and do you know,
James Tolkien, that's who the detective is, who was also in Back to the Future.
Yeah, and you know that. Did you ever watch the full post credits of that? You won't remember it, will you?
I don't remember.
I think that's one of the first movies to ever have a post credit scene, because Skeletor gets knocked off. And you think he dies, but he comes.
Oh, he comes out of the water, out of the lava, or there's something. Yeah, I remember that.
And
now.
He winks and he says something like, I'll be back," or "I'll get you," or something like that. And it was like one of the first.
It's one of those. It's one of those decisions. They probably shot that after the movie was already made, just to like, well, we got to shoehorn a sequel in here, which we never got.
Shame, really, because it didn't do that great, but I loved it at the time.
It's a mild cult classic for sure. But Kyle Allen is cast as He-Man in Masters of the Universe. I'm not going to diss it until I see what they come up with. You know, like conceptually, conceptually, it's like He-Man. Who wants a He-Man movie? But well, you can make anything great. You know, so I'm not going to hate on it or anything like that. So looking forward to that. Now, the reason I want to talk about this next subject is because have you seen Don't Look Up?
I haven't watched it yet, but again, it's another one. It's another one on my list. I've just not got around to it yet.
It's so good. I've
been hearing that about it.
The more that I like my review, I gave it like I think a C or a B, and I wasn't sure if I was going to like it. You know, how its rewatchability was, but the more I think about it, the more I love this movie.
Good.
But in my review, and this is why I wanted to bring it up, because I said there's this weird directing choice where they did these really short cut edits that just seemed random throughout the movie, and I'm like, it doesn't fit into the movie like at all. But when you get to the end of the movie, it all makes sense, you know. And I said that in my review. So the director, Adam McKay, explains those weird edits in the film. He actually came out and made a statement about it, and it makes perfect sense. See, the editor, Hank Corwin, followed McKay's plan, which was to make a movie that changed genres midway through. The world we're living in now doesn't adhere to a genre as much as it used to. Shifting from the farcical comedy to a tragedy is a tragedy to a drama, McKay said. So totally, the movie purposely changes genres as the movie progresses. And I just wanted to put that out there because it was one thing on my review that I couldn't figure out why they did it, but it made sense to me.
Okay.
But now him explaining that makes sense.
The only film, when you said that, of a movie changing genre midway through, the first film that springs to mind is From Dusk Till Dawn, because that starts off as the convicts trying to escape to Mexico or something like that. Then it just flips halfway through to a vampire movie. So it's not really, it's two separate movies. I mean, I'll have to, now you've said that, I mean, I'm gonna watch it anyway. It's just, there's been so much happening, I've just not got around to it. And it's got a good cast. So
sounds like a bunch of excuses there, Ramon.
Well, I've been busy, and I've been busy. Been doing Cobra Kai, The Witcher, The Mandalorian, Peacemaker, James Bond, Ghostbusters. I've been a busy boy, and I.
Oh, you did Ghostbusters, huh? The one that came out 3 months ago? Okay.
Yeah, but it's out on release now, isn't it? I'm just saying.
I'm just messing with you.
You're messing with me. Okay.
Another movie.
Why don't you have a drink?
I did. Thank you.
I'm just saying, have a drink because you want to keep hydrated and stuff.
Oh yeah.
If you're doing a show. Have you got coffee?
Mm-hmm.
Coffee's nice. I like coffee.
Yeah.
And to be honest, there's no more arguing. Let's just settle this like adults.
All right, you ready? 1, 2, 3, go. You ready? Do you know rock, paper, scissors?
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
So you go 1, 2, 3, go. Okay.
2, 3, and it.
Okay,
one,
1,
2.
Okay, hold on.
What? You do it.
1, 2, 3, go.
No, you cheated.
We tied. I see me first.
I won then.
Okay. Anyway,
no, that was an invisible cloak from Harry Potter, so that goes over and makes you disappear.
Well, that's what I did, the same thing.
No, yours was paper.
See, this is why we need Seth. Seth is not here, and you and I are playing.
I'm just saying, like the paper's that one. That's
the
paper,
channel.
and that's paper, and that's invisible cloak.
Okay,
just
all right.
made that one. Do you know what? I was with a girl once, and we got into an argument because she did this, and I was like, "What's that?" She goes, "It's a crane." I'm like, "You don't. It's rock paper scissors. Like you don't have a crane." Predator starts as a straight up action, then turns into a sci-fi horror. Good point. Do you like? Have you seen all the Predator movies?
All of them? No, I've only seen a couple. Yeah, Aaron White, thank you very much. You know, another movie that changes genre is a more recent one, Army of the Dead. It starts off as a zombie movie, or kind of like a zombie movie, turns into a heist movie.
I despise that movie.
It's not bad. It much like many of Zack Snyder's other entities. To me, it's a movie that's going to take 2 or 3 other movies for people for me, myself included, to go, oh man, okay, I get it now. That's pretty awesome. You know, like he's a slow burn when it comes to those things.
I just think it was pile of bumholes.
Bumholes, pile of bumholes, big old pile of them.
The only reason I said about that Predator, I love Predators, but anyway, go on.
All right, so yeah, Don't Look Up. He explains genre changing. I just wanted to point that out because it just stuck out to me in my review. So there you go. What do you think about Hellboy?
In terms of the original or the newer one?
The original with Ron Perlman. The first 2 movies.
Bad boy.
Would you
Ron
like
Perlman's
to? Would you like to see?
Please.
Would you like to see a third one?
Don't tease me, man.
Well, Ron Perlman, which he has been an advocate, says he reluctantly wants Hellboy 3 to happen for the fans. Now, the reason why I say reluctantly, is because this is his quote right here. He says, "I'm eager to do Hellboy 3. Or am I eager to do Hellboy 3? No, I'm 71 fucking years old. But we owe this to the fans, and we should give it to them because it would be an epic conclusion." So, Gilmoro, if you're reading, I'm not done pounding you to get this fucking thing done.
I agree totally. But the problem being, isn't the girl who was in it? She's quite unwell, isn't she? I forgot her name. The actress.
Yeah. She came down with that disease that affects her mobility and her speech. But you know what? But you know what? Maybe this would be a good time for Hollywood to step up and be like, okay, but that shouldn't stop that. Let's write that into the story. You know, let's.
Yeah. I love her, man. Like, Selma Blair. You can't have that movie without her. You can't have it without her because
she was pregnant. She was pregnant at the end of
it's those two together is just can't live without you. That one, Barry Manilow or whatever it is, you can't.
I mean, think about the parallel that they could do with Ron Perlman being this devil-looking creature, and then Selma Blair. They write to the script that she had, her. You all right? Oh, we lost his headphones.
That's the thing when you use headphones like that; they just cut out when they feel like it.
All right, so like imagine the. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, so imagine the dynamic if you have Ron Perlman, this devil-looking creature with this human, but this human is so insecure, maybe if they write into the script that way, about her ailment that has made her ill and like he still loves her for who she is. It doesn't matter what she looks like or sounds like physically, and it goes both ways because she loves him, this ghoulish looking creature dude. So that would be a great opportunity to write that into a movie. I think that would be very responsible.
I like both of
Guillermo
them.
del Toro.
Again, I don't know why I love those movies so much. There's just something about, I don't know, they're very I don't know, I don't know what the right word is, like warm. They're very like cozy kind of movies. I don't know if that's right. Like you feel very at home with the characters and you feel like an attachment to them. I love what's his name? Bro, it's got the first one's got one on my again. I'm a villains guy. His name is Ruprecht Cronin, Carl Ruprecht Cronin is in the first one, and he's the one with the clock, with the mask, the gas mask. Bro, he's so amazing. And in the second one, I love Luke Goss, who was in a boy band in the UK called Bros, and he's also the guy who's in Blade 2, who plays the main vampire in Blade 2. He's Prince Nuaba, whatever it is, in the second Hellboy. And again, I think he's a great. Both the villains in those movies are just brilliant. I love the villains.
Seth MacFarlane also has a role in that movie as well.
Does he really?
Yeah, he's the I think the scientist type of character he doesn't have like a real head.
Oh, in the second one, of course.
He plays he's German,
like
right?
The German guy. I just really like those movies, and it's I don't know what it is. They're just
I can't figure out why they reboot it.
I hate the remake. I mean, I think it's an awful remake, and I like David Harbour who replaced him.
Right, but it was pointless. They remade it exactly the same, but not as good. I thought they were going to go like a hard R with it, make it darker tone, and change everything, but they didn't.
Yeah, it should have been Ron Pearlman, and that's no shame on Harbour who done the part, because he's just a dude going for a job, but it just wasn't right. People even at that time, people wanted. It's like Henry Cavill now, same predicament with Superman. It's like casting someone now as Superman, putting it out next year. People will be like, yeah, it's good, but we still want Henry Cavill kind of thing. It's like people still want Ron Perlman. So if that happens, even if it's a TV movie, even if I would still back it, bro. Because I like it and I like all the characters in it. So
yeah, but so
he's so great. Ron
everybody
Perlman
wants Hellboy 3, but Ron Perlman makes a point. He's 71 years old. And that's an action movie. I mean, but then again, you can look at him and go, oh yeah. But, look at Arnold Schwarzenegger, look at, Sylvester Stallone. They're still kicking it. But 71 is pushing it for that physically demanding of a job, for sure.
I think it is. But when you look at the Hellboy movies, he had action, but he weren't really it was like a couple of jumping around bits and a few punches.
Well, yeah, but think about how heavy that suit is.
Yeah.
He's got to carry around that suit, and he's got that big arm. It's probably at least 80 pounds for that whole thing.
Yeah.
So you got that on top of it for sure.
If they were going to do it, they'd have to do it now.
Yeah,
now in the next year or two. I'd say go for it, man. Sod it. Why not?
Well, Ron Perlman's been trying to get this done for years. He's always been making comments and posts like that, okay, let's Hellboy 3, let's get it made. He's not advocating too hard for it, but he's always putting out little things like, hey, Hellboy 3, huh? Anyone? High five?
Because that other one it had the odd one or two sequences. You go, oh, that looks cool, but it just wasn't a good film. It was a very badly written movie, that last one, and you don't even need to. It doesn't even need to be crazy. As I say, the Hellboy movies really weren't that over the top confusing anyway. They were just straightforward action movies with a little story. It was just cool. They were just cool films.
Yeah,
I'd love to see him again.
And their cinematography and the color, the tone, everything about him was just a fun comic book movie. Okay, so there's Hellboy 3. Now up next, I want to talk about something that's going on here in America. I don't know if it's big over there in the UK, but here the Neil Young versus Joe Rogan thing is
yep
ridiculous. Before we dive into that. For anybody who knows Drive By News, Seth is usually with us, but Seth is not with us today. We have no idea why. He's a no-call, no-show. Should we call him?
Oh, you're not gonna really? Go on then. Go on. Let's see if we can wake him up. He's probably he's probably asleep. Snuggled up somewhere in bed, all cozy. Let's see what happens. He's gonna go mad. Pick up?
I don't know. Let's see. He would have picked up by now.
I bet he's sitting there holding it nah.
Watching the stream.
That's what. Come on, Seth.
I'm sorry.
Wah. That's it. You're grounded.
You got played.
Last week we told him. Last week we're like, Seth, it's so good to have you back. We missed you the week before because he was busy. And he's like, it's so great to be back. And then he freaking ghosts us the week following.
Then he leaves us.
All right. The reason why I wanted to call him, I wanted to get him on the stream because I want to get his perspective on this Neil Young Joe Rogan thing, because he doesn't know who Neil Young is or very little about him. He doesn't really listen to Joe Rogan, but I want to see an outsider's perspective into this. Now, just for some perspective, just so people who are watching who don't know the full situation, what we're talking about is Neil Young came out and said, I want you to let Spotify know immediately today I know. I love that picture. I want you to let Spotify know immediately today that I want all my music off their platform. I'm doing this because Spotify is spreading fake information about vaccines, potentially causing death to those who believe the disinformation being spread by them. Oh, man, I'll tell you what, like I posted now. Listen, when I see this, my first initial thought is, okay, then pull your music off, Neil. Who cares what you think? Yep. You know, like you're just a musician. Who gives a shit? And I posted a meme, you know, saying something similar, like, "Oh, who cares, Neil?" And people just went off in the comments on my Facebook post, and I'm just like, "Whoa, okay, this is obviously a hot button issue." And like, I was getting really annoyed because my Facebook post got hijacked.
Yeah,
you know, and these people just like this, it became this like one thread of this echo chamber of two people just agreeing with each other. And like, I ended up deleting the whole post. I was done with it. But that's why I brought it into this, you know, so if anybody wants to talk about it and leave comments here for us, we'll read them live and discuss with us now live where, you know, we can go back and forth and not hide behind, you know, too much of a keyboard. Then that's what I wanted to do. But I also wanted to gauge your opinion as somebody from the UK.
Well, but I want to hear yours first. I want to hear what you think about it. So basically, what exactly is it that Joe Rogan in detail? Like, I kind of know the story, but not.
Okay, so well, what it is Joe Rogan. You know his platform, right?
Yeah.
Joe Rogan's platform. You know he's on Spotify, and he brings people on and he discusses just random topics, random issues, usually based centric around the guest that, you know, comes on his show. Well, it is being said now that his guests are spreading misinformation about important things like vaccines and COVID and all this stuff. And it's making people who believe this misinformation are dying from it. It's causing them to die because they're listening to the information being spread on Joe Rogan's podcast. But hold on, let me finish.
Sorry.
So my opinion on this is, number one, Joe Rogan is a comedian.
Yep.
He's a comedian. And he tells you many times over many shows. I listen to Joe Rogan. I disagree with him on a lot of his things, and I agree with him on a lot of his things. I think for myself. And if I don't believe something, I look more into it and I figure out for myself. And come up with my own conclusion. I don't, he's a comedian and he tells you multiple times, don't listen to me for any medical advice. I'm just a meathead.
It's just a guy,
who talks to people.
Yeah.
I think anybody, the disinformation that's being spread is, first of all, I don't know the actuality of how much disinformation is being spread, how many people have actually died from listening to the Joe Rogan podcast. I'd like to see those statistics. I don't know where to find them. I don't know where to look for them.
Then you could say on the flip side, how many people have died from listening to things like CNN?
Yeah,
or Fox.
Exactly.
So,
anything like, and not just that, but like, who is Neil Young to come in and say, well, I'll take my music off Spotify if you don't take Joe Rogan off Spotify? Who cares, man? Like, this is America. Now, listen, I understand Americans are really into American things, you know, freedom of speech, stuff like that. So how come this musician who is essentially telling Joe Rogan, I don't like what you say, so because I don't like what you say, I want my fans to boycott you?
It's a bit of a strange thing for an artist to do. Just in general, I think it's just a bit of an odd thing to say, ain't it?
This is a Neil Young thing. Neil Young's been causing rifts for years. I mean, have you heard of Leonard Skinner? You know,
Sweet Home, of course, yeah.
The song "Sweet Home Alabama."
Yeah,
they throw shade at Neil Young for insulting Alabama. At one point in time, Neil Young insulted Alabama, and they call him out in that song. You know, a part of that song is, "Oh, tell Neil Young we don't need him anyhow."
Is that photo there? Is that Neil Young?
Oh yeah, that was him in the 90s. That was him in the 90s. Yeah.
Sorry.
Listen, I'm not here to hate on Neil Young. Listen, I respect the guy as a musician, as a songwriter, but he needs to stay as a songwriter. He needs to stay as a musician.
I think,
you know, he's done nothing in his 40-year career to prove to me that I need to listen to him. And number two, Ramon, Where were all these people, the 30% drop in Spotify that happened since Neil Young corralled all of his fans to leave Spotify?
I think,
where were all these people a week ago? Where was Joe Rogan's been around for more than a decade.
It's been around
where
a
were
long,
these people
long time
a week ago? This is where I see the sheeple. People following somebody that they like and doing whatever that person says. That's an irresponsibility on Neil Young, in my opinion. He's using his fan base and saying, well, fan base, I'm going to leave my music. I'm going to take my music off Spotify if you don't cancel Joe Rogan. And then everyone just flooded Spotify. Like, it's ridiculous.
I think regardless of anything, that's an abuse of your status and power to be doing that in the first place. I think that's a complete...
Yeah.
I want to swear, I think that's a complete a-hole move. If, for example, Rogan was being investigated for something like pictures of underage people on his computer, that sort of stuff, you go, you know what? I can get why this artist is trying to make a stand against someone that's doing something. What Rogan has done is what me and you are doing right now. We're just talking like two dudes in a pub. That's what Joe Rogan does. He's got a podcast and he just talks to people.
On the other side of it, and Gene Harshaw says, I don't think it was his fans. Either way, his fans or not his fans, where were these people a week ago? But like
Joe, I mean, realistically, man, I don't think people just don't like
what I was going to say is that Joe Rogan does bring on, big name people, scientists, inventors, whatever. And like, I think one of the bigger ones that they had one of the co-creators or something like that of the Minerva shot, whatever it's called, Minerva shot. He was on there and it caused a big riff. Listen, Joe Rogan's just talking to people. You don't have to listen to it's like me bringing somebody on saying, well, this person invented the skateboard, and then people go out and stop buying skateboards because he said something stupid. Like, I don't get wrapped up in it. I don't see the big problem here with Joe Rogan. I don't see what he's doing wrong besides just talking to people.
He isn't. That's the point.
Right.
He isn't. It's people that disagree with it. So it's become politicized. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And people
it has become politicized, Gene.
No matter what you do. All right. Look, this is nothing to do with Stevie. This is just my opinion. I said this to him last night, right? And this is my sense of humor, nothing to do with him. I said, why don't we I would love to see if Trump ran for the 2024, I want him to come out in a vest and do the Hulkamania song, right? I'm a real American, right? That's my sense of humor. Me saying that will enrage people that don't like people like him. That's just what we're doing. That example is what Joe Rogan, he's just talking. That's his opinion. You don't have to like it. That's it. I don't think, unless there's an underlying motive that the person that he's discussing, like Neil Young's discussing, unless that person's gone, oh, this person's accused of murder, or this person's a blah, blah, blah. Right. Then I'll go, right, oh, okay, cool. But this isn't that. This is, I don't like this dude's opinions, and he's got nothing to back up what he's saying. Like, he's saying, oh, it's people have died because it's who? What people? Who?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe people have died. I don't know how many people have died from eating, McDonald's cheeseburgers every day. Like there's
the same
a different dynamic here. But like, I just don't understand. Like, Joe Rogan is a comedian. Neil Young is a musician. Neither one of these people should be taken too seriously. Joe Rogan, I respect because he's a conversationalist. He likes to bring people into his studio and talk to them about.
And he calls people.
I do the same thing. I enjoy bringing people into my studio and talking to them about their interests and all their stuff. But if somebody wants to cancel me, which I don't have anywhere near a big platform for that, but if one of my neighbors want to cancel me because they didn't like the opinion of somebody I brought into my studio, that doesn't make sense. That's my right to bring people in and have a discussion. The fact that I record it and put it out, it should be neither here nor there.
The only one who'll get cancelled out of us is me, because I'm the one with the big mouth and get myself in trouble all the time. But I think with that whole situation, it comes down to the bottom line, and that bottom line is what you just said. The dude's a comedian and does like a chat show. He's a comedian. He's not a politician. He's not someone that works in the White House. Do you know what I mean? If someone goes on, if Rogan sits on his show and goes, right, everyone, I want you to I don't know, I want you to all burn your houses down and get in a car and drive into the wall. It doesn't mean everyone's going to go and do it. Do you know what I mean? It's just, he's a comedian. So I think it all comes down to the situation and what the person's being accused of. There's no evidence to suggest that anything that he's done has done any harm to anyone out there. It's just people that disagree with an opinion. And because of that, they want him removed. And I think that's nonsense. And
it's dangerous, is what it is. It's
dangerous. But I applaud for. So you're saying Spotify have gone right? See you later. What's his name? Old dude. And Joe Rogan. Well, there you go. So they've done, in my opinion, they've done the right thing. If you don't want to be on it, don't be on it. He hasn't done nothing. It's just dude talking. If you can't talk,
right? Well, Gene makes a point here. He says, "I totally agree, but people love celebrities and treat their opinions with greater density." And you know what? He's absolutely correct. You know, there is a ground like it's. So this is okay. Hold on, let me collect my thoughts. So the fact that Neil Young has what we call irresponsibly, possibly used his, his status, to corral his fans to go against Spotify, is it just as irresponsible for Joe Rogan to just have a conversation with? I don't think so.
No, because it goes back to the same thing. I understand what the person's saying here about celebrities should treat their opinions with love. Sorry, you're saying totally agree, but people love celebrities and treat their opinions with greater density. I agree with that. Right. However, there still has to be a line. If what he has done has not, in my opinion, has not crossed any lines. He's not gone out there and said, right, everyone, don't take the vaccine because I said so. He hasn't done that. He's gone on there and said, I choose not to do something because that's what I think. If that's what he wants to do, that's his opinion. You've got the right to your opinion. If a person like Rogan or anyone else, me, Stevie, anyone's on a platform like this and goes, you should do this and go and do it, and you do something because of me and that affects people, then I'm responsible. He hasn't done that. Never. I've never seen him once do that. And I get like you, I've watched a lot of his stuff. He's just a dude talking, giving an opinion on something. Yeah, man. Exactly. That movie's rubbish. That movie's I like that drink. I don't like that drink.
Exactly. There's a difference, like to me, again, in a podcast forum of just having a discussion with somebody and trying to take advantage of people's opinions based on your status. This is the big divide I see here with Neil Young and Joe Rogan. Is I see Neil Young. I see Neil Young, or let me start this over. I see Joe Rogan having discussions, a two-way discussion with somebody, and coming to a conclusion, or not even a conclusion, just having that open debate of this, that, or the other. I see Neil Young having no discussion, telling people what to do. This is my opinion. This is what you should do because of my opinion. Go do it. There's no discussion. I would love for Neil Young to go on the Joe Rogan podcast and have a discussion. That would be
exactly. Important. Yeah, but the thing is, Rogan would tear him apart. That's my point.
I think Rogan would have enough restraint for the most part. But you're right.
No, but what I'm saying, but logically, he would destroy him apart. Like he would destroy him because he would just say, well, because Neil Young, no doubt, would say, yeah, but what you've done is done this, and this has caused people to go out and die. Okay, who's died? Well, just people. But people. Yeah, but who?
Right.
That's what I mean. If you don't have, that's what I'm saying. So this comes down. This is Neil Young's opinion. It's not. There's nothing. He's not providing anything to go. This is factual information. There's a document that says these amount of people have died because of this. It's just his word. I don't like what you've said, and I believe this. Where? Who? There ain't no one. So until that's provided, I don't think you can really judge someone. I've watched Rogan for years. And I think I'll continue to watch. I watch him about everything. Getting like you, I don't agree with everything he says, but I recall watching the lady. There was a lady who was like a big part, who was in control of Twitter, and I loved. I joke about and everything, but I really followed the Trump Biden thingy. A couple of years ago, the election, just because there's so much drama. You know me, I think it's just funny.
So you're telling me in the UK, you pretty much use our presidential elections as a comedy TV show, and you sit back with popcorn?
No.
Because I think that would be great if you did. That's kind of what I do.
And look, there's people over there that love and hate Trump.
Yeah.
Okay. People love and hate Trump. That's fine. Everyone's got their right to opinion. But from an outsider, me looking in, it's got no effect on me whatsoever. I think he's one of the funniest people I've ever seen, ever, as in a political space, ever. Like, I'll never forget that video with Hillary Clinton. It's good that someone of your temperament won't be in the White House because you'll be in jail. I mean, bro, that's like a chat show comedy host. Now, what I'm trying to get at is with Rogan and people like this, it just boils down to the same thing. He's not in a political position of power. He's just a man having a chat like me and you do, like so many of us do on YouTube. If you do not like what Joe Rogan says, you do not have to watch or listen to his podcast. If he goes on and says, if he goes on there and influences people and says, I think you should go and do this and do that, and causes damage and hurts people, yes, I would agree with what you're saying. But to my knowledge, he's not done that. This is just Neil Young don't like his opinion. That's it. Yeah. Like if Neil Young might come forward in the next week and go, this has happened, this has happened, this has happened.
Yeah, here's the statistics.
And if that's happened,
here's the facts that can all be traced back
to
Joe Rogan's show on Spotify.
And as of yet, that's not happening.
And you got to be crazy if you don't think Spotify has already looked into this.
Because they can't afford to make that mistake, man. They cannot afford to make that mistake. You know, like they're enabling someone who's caused damage like that. You can't afford that because they'd get a lawsuit.
Gene Harshaw, but he does have power. He has over 11 million listeners.
Who, Rogan?
Yes.
He does have power, but that power is just a power of like flipping heck. One Direction, the boy band, have millions of fans, billions of fans. One Direction. If someone from One Direction goes, "Come on, everyone, let's go and jump off a building," I don't think everyone would go and do it.
Right. That comes into play of responsibility of the listener. You know, and I might come across as callous here. I really might, and I don't mean to, but it's how my brain works. You know, if people are taking what Joe Rogan's forum is saying as 100% fact without researching anything themselves, and people are actually dying listening to this misinformation that's coming through the Joe Rogan podcast, well, natural selection shows itself in very weird ways. You know what I mean? Like,
no, that's harsh, yeah. But
it is harsh. But like, listen, don't listen to a comedian's podcast for medical advice. I don't understand
that's it.
To
be honest with you,
I can't connect the dots. It doesn't make sense to me.
That's the bottom line. That should really be the be all and end all of that entire debate. He's a comedian. It's like if Mickey Mouse.
A letter signed by 270 doctors to Spotify to address misinformation on Rogan's show. Right. That would be something important if Joe Rogan's show was, hey, listen to us. We're giving medical advice.
Yeah, but they're not.
It's not. It's
like we
Joe
say
Rogan's show. It's like, hey, I'm bringing this guy on my show to see what he has to say about this thing. Okay, you say that? Interesting. Thanks for saying that on my show. See you later.
I think it also depends on the platform. So in the counter to that, in favor of what that says by Gene there, to counter that, I would say people who are celebrities, I do often sit there and think they do have a certain responsibility.
Of course.
For example, Billie Eilish, for example, young woman, if she goes out and wears a top with, you know, half her body showing and everything else and goes, come on, young girls, let's go and bang loads of men and everything else, which she doesn't. Billie Eilish, that's not her style. But if she did, that would influence young women to go and do the same because young kids are impressionable to do that sort of thing. Yes, but we're talking about a fully grown adult. And if you're not got the marbles in between your ears to know that a comedian saying something who, like you said, says, I am not a medical expert, do not take what I'm saying seriously, who says that repeatedly, like you've said.
Yeah.
He's already said it. Again, when you talk about misinformation as well, the difficult thing of that, me and you do this on a weekly basis. I bet you any money, if we comb through every one of our videos, we've got 50% of the stuff we've said about movies wrong. I bet you any money, it's just general chit chat. Do you know, like, I think this is this. I think we're also spreading lies. Because it's just us chatting nonsense. That's what we do. We come on here, we talk about movies, we get people involved, we have some fun. It's the whole interaction thing. So I think I look at Joe Rogan as the same. I don't watch Joe Rogan for any type of advice about anything. I watch Joe Rogan when I'm sitting there with a beer, with a burger in my hand, just to watch blokes talk rubbish.
Yeah.
That's what the Joe. It's not in a disrespectful way, but that's what I watch it for.
So okay, Ramon, I'm going to stop you. I'm going to play devil's advocate here. So do you think though, because like Gene says, you know, he has 11 million listeners, to that, is there a responsibility that maybe I shouldn't have certain guests on here?
No, you can have any person on any show at any time or anything you want. If Joe Rogan wants to get a lead member of the KKK on his show, which we shouldn't even be speaking about this thing, but this is the problem with society today. Not getting too deep, I'm just saying in a general consensus that people do not speak about things enough. We're not open about things enough. Would you rather that person I've just mentioned, that a leader of some sect of a group of individuals, not come on a podcast and talk to discuss things openly, dynamic in front of people? Would you rather it all be behind closed doors, all build up behind closed doors and then explode in everyone's faces, which is what happens all the time? It's better to have dialogue with people face to face and ask questions face to face. I don't like what you're saying. Okay, I don't like what you're saying. Why? Right. Because of this. Because that's the whole point of this stuff. But again, he's also not a political person, and he's not getting people on. If he's had doctors and stuff on, these are doctors. If you want to take a doctor's advice, that's up to you to. It's not him saying it. He's asking a doctor questions.
Yeah. Now, if you disagree with the doctor, you know, like Neil Young, or somebody else who has a platform, a space, viewers, followers, whatever, then maybe bring that doctor onto your thing and question them and have that discussion open and debate them. Maybe you might trump them. You might prove that this doctor is completely wrong, and you can look at that doctor and say, okay, well then stop spewing this misinformation. But that shouldn't go back to Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan's not spewing. He's just opening a platform saying, okay, make your statement, make your point. You know,
do you want to know?
That's not irresponsible. That's a conversation.
Do you want to know who done great? And I respect what Gene's saying here. Unfortunately, we place an elevated status on the opinions of celebrities, and I think we do, but not to the extent that people think we do. Because years ago, we didn't have things like the Oscars and all of that. Look what Ricky Gervais done at the with the BAFTAs or whatever, where he tore everyone down on screen, and he done it year after year after year.
Oh yeah.
Now as a Brit, I find that hilarious, because it's calling out the hypocrisy of people saying, "Oh, green, you know, save the planet," while you're getting on a damn £1 million jet flying around the world, polluting the world. Like, you're a hypocrite. So I think people, since social media, I think people listen to celebrities, but not as much. Come on, let's be real. If Brad Pitt come on a flipping TV show and he goes, "Yo, I want to talk about the KKK," I'd start laughing. I'm like, bro, what do you know about the I don't know anything about the KKK. If you want to get someone on that it knows what they're talking about. Joe Rogan, that's what I'm saying. It's Joe Rogan. You don't listen to him and go, "At Joe Rogan, he knows what he's talking about." You don't listen to him for that. I listen to him for beer and, what do you call them, chips. Beer and chips talk. It's just us talking nonsense.
Yeah.
But you know, it's one of them. I know people are not going to like what a person says. Bro, I bet you any money, if me and you looked online for the top 20 podcasts, I bet you any money, me and you probably find 4 or 5 people on there that I wouldn't say despise, but would go, "Fuck that, I'm not listening to that rubbish." So I don't.
Right.
So then,
and Gene says here, dialogue. I agree. Dialogue is crucial. What has happened. Let's just use this conversation that we're having as a prime example. Gene has come on. He's made a statement. He's made quite a few statements. You know.
Yep.
I'm not going to assume Gene's opinion on the subject, but it seems like he's kind of seeing things from both sides of the fence a little bit. You know, and he's trying to make a point. Well, you know, Rogan does have an opinion. Rogan does have, you know, a stature that of followers, 11 million viewers and listeners. But through our conversation, we're able to sit and talk with you, talk with me, and talk with Gene, and not cancel each other and have an open discussion, what we agree with, what we don't agree with, take our opinions and put them in our pockets and move on with their lives. I'm not gonna look at Gene or you and be like, "Well, that's what you said." Well, you know what, Ramon, that's what you said. See you later, dude. Don't care about you. I'm not going to do that. Oh, sad faced. But we're not going to do that. This is what I'm talking about. This is, to me, what needs to happen with this subject when it comes to Neil Young and Joe Rogan. Neil Young coming up and saying, that's it. Leave Spotify or I'm taking my music with me. Okay, see you later, dude. But if Neil Young come up and said, hey, listen, I'm going to start my own podcast. I think there's some misinformation going out there, and I want to open a discussion to where we can figure this out. Then I would have been like, oh, you know what, Neil? That's the wokest thing you could have said. Instead of canceling yourself.
What should have happened? Yeah, he should have gone on the podcast, on Rogan's podcast.
Not even Rogan's podcast. Do your own podcast and bring that doctor onto your podcast, or other doctors that dispute that. This is the dialogue that you start. I don't know. Then people will listen to Neil Young, and somebody will die, and then somebody will try to
I don't think the problem is as well. Yeah, I think another big thing as well that people don't seem to sort of take into account is that the whole level of social media and what we're doing now has only been relevant for the last 10, 15 years. Yeah. This is still, in terms of technology and the world and everything else and influence, this is still a very, very new medium. So what we're still doing is still a very, very new thing. So what I mean by that is we don't know how things are going to go. We don't know who's right, who's wrong. I think this has just enabled people to communicate on a much larger scale. Like you said to me the other day, look, you're in America, I'm in flipping East London, and we're sitting here doing a chat thing every week because we got chatting online. Like this didn't exist. This did not exist. So at the end of the day, we're going to have discussions and not agree on everything. We're going to come to blows on things, go, no. But that's the whole point of it. Like I'm talking to someone. Without this screen, this never would have happened. So how do we progress as humanity and as people without having this conversation? That to me is the bottom line of everything. Like if that's how I look at it. Look, I speak quite openly about things and clash with people when it comes to sort of like differences on opinion or transgenders, or it could be something to do with race, or it could be to do with something else. But I think unless you have open discussions, I'm not going to learn stuff from people. They're not going to learn stuff from people. And I think you have to have that open dialogue. That's how I look at it, man.
That's it. That's absolutely right. We're going to move on from this conversation, but I just want to thank Gene for chiming in. I appreciate, Gene, you sharing your opinions in a respectful manner with us. But actually, I was going to talk about one thing, but I'm actually going to switch it up a little bit because you said something, a celebrity coming up, let's say if Brad Pitt came up and started talking about the KKK. Right. You said that, but guess what?
He did it, did he? Don't tell me he did that.
Ezra Miller did.
Yeah, that's you know what? That's why it was in my mind, bro. Because I saw that's what it was. Yeah.
Yes, Ezra Miller threatens KK members. I tried to get the video on here, but I didn't know what the copyright issue was with that. But long story short, Ezra Miller pretty much came up and said, "Why don't you take your own guns and kill yourselves with them?"
He should be arrested for that, bro.
Why?
Because if me or you done that, look, it does. This isn't, again, people will look at that now and go, well, hang on, we'll clip that. He's just said he's supporting the KKK now. No, it's not about that. He went, basically, from the video that I watched, there's obviously a problem with someone in maybe friends or family or in the area that he lives or something like that. And he's called out this sect and said, look, if you don't stop what you're doing, you know what you're doing, something's going to happen to you. Why don't you do this to yourself? If not, someone else will, or something like that. He's just incriminated himself on a video evidence. Like, that's like me going at that's now when you're talking about Joe Rogan, bro, he's just said something 10 times worse because he's saying it's going to happen. If you don't do that to yourself, me or someone else will, or something like that.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Like, imagine me going on and saying, Lady Gaga, if you release another album, that's going to happen to you. Like,
Are
you mad, bro? Are you mad?
Well, there is that aspect. I kind of did forget to mention that at the very end of that video, he did threaten that somebody else would.
He's
crazy. It's an interesting dynamic. Now there is this photo here. he did come up and
that's it. That's the video I see. Yeah.
Yeah. And then he did make in the comments, please disseminate gross this video to all those whom it may concern. This is not a joke. And even though I do recognize myself to be a clown, please trust me and take this seriously. I have no idea what that means. I don't know what he's saying here.
That's a threat. Recognize myself to be, but please trust me and take this seriously. Well, at the end of the video, he threatens someone with their life and says, "Trust me and take this seriously." That doesn't say good. That's threatening someone's life. So all that group now of idiots that he wanted to point out, all he's done is given them ammo. All he's done is given the people ammo. Whatever the situation is that he's dealing with, that's not handled the right way. If you want something like that dealt with, you do it in a professional way. Like he's
a little bit more class.
Yeah, like that. In other words, it doesn't mean I don't agree with him. He's probably right. Someone's probably done something to family or someone that he knows, and he's angry, and I get that. But he's basically just set himself up. Like he's basically just set himself up. If something happens, say someone goes out and does something to one of these people that he's talking about, who's the first person they're going to question? He said he was going to do it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
You're right. It's
Splash.
It's an oddity because it's one of those situations like, like maybe listen. I'm so torn on this because number one, he's talking about the KKK. But number two, he's not only making a threat, but inspiring other people to make threats. Again, direct conversation.
That's dangerous, mate. Yeah.
But is that any different than Joe Rogan?
No, because he's saying go and do it. He's literally said go and do it. Like if you don't do it, we will, or something like that. He said those were his words. His words were, "Why don't you end yourself? If you don't, somebody will. Like that's a threat. That's you're threatening someone's life. Like that's going to backfire on him.
So do you think he said that as an actual threat, like I'm a celebrity, come get me, you can't touch me, or do you think Ezra Miller, or do you think
someone's really done something? I think I'm getting hypothetical, ladies and gents. This isn't real. Just by what he said there, I believe someone he knows who's close to him has been threatened or hurt by someone of this group, and he's threatening them.
Right. Well, what I was going to say was, or do you think, he just emotionally spoke out there and just said this thing, wasn't really thinking of the consequences behind it, wasn't actually meaning that he was going to go out and seek KKK members and shoot them. He was. Is it
still on his social media or not? Because if it's still on his social media, he meant it. If he's
it is.
He meant it then.
Well, at least it was last night.
Yeah, if it's still on there, then he meant it. Like, because we all post silly things. We've all done things in the past in our lives where we make stupid mistakes. We all do it. I break up with a girlfriend and put on my thing. You're a bit, you know what I mean? It's what you do when you just, it's stupid, but you go, what am I doing? Like you delete that stupid idea. If I wake up the next day, 24 hours later, read that again and go, no, I'm going to leave that there. You're consciously leaving something there. So if it's still there, he's consciously left that on the platform. So I just don't think that's a smart idea. He could have made the same point and had just the same effect by just saying, there's a group here that have done some damaging things. Why are the police not doing something about it? Or something like that. He's made the point, and then everyone will hassle the police.
Speak with a little less emotion.
He didn't.
A little
I
less
don't know what
triggered.
happened. Yeah, but I don't know what happened to him. So
so with that being said, do you think what he did say should be edited? Do you think somebody, Twitter?
He should take that off, man. You shouldn't have done
that. Do you think Twitter should come in and take that off for him? Do you think could it constitute as hate speech? It
is. He's threatening someone's life,
right,
dude?
So should Twitter come in and edit that for him? Like, hey, we're taking that post down. We're taking your page down because you're spreading hate speech.
It should do actually. Yeah, because I was about to say it's worse than what I did to get banned from Twitter, but that's not true because I think I said I was going to put someone in a lawnmower or something like that.
Okay, Ramon, right there. That's a prime example of what I'm talking about when I said, do you think he was just speaking almost like you saying that, like, hey, put your mom in a lawnmower or whatever you said that got you banned on Twitter. Do you think he was just kind of spewing out this one thing like, or somebody's going to come get you? and not really thinking
It's
like,
really,
oh shit,
yeah,
somebody's actually going to
maybe
probably
is
listen to that.
maybe
That's
people
my
are taking
point
it
I'm trying to get
That
at.
is a very good point. That's a very good point. I don't know the answer to that. I think that's a good point you made. I really don't know the answer to that. Maybe he said it and it's not as serious as we're all taking it, but then he then quoted afterwards, I take it seriously. So it's a very difficult. I don't think that's going to be the end. I don't think that this will be the last we hear of that, because that's a big thing.
On. Let me take a. I was going to move on, but let me take a second look at this. Please decimate. When I first read that, I thought he meant the post. Is he not talking about the post?
Please disseminate gross this video to all those whom it may concern. This is not a joke, and even though I do recognize myself to be a clown, please trust me and take this seriously.
I don't know. I don't know.
I think someone in his position, especially with the Flash coming out, this is not a very smart move. That's what I think. I think people
he's been known to do stuff like this before, kind of trigger sort of reactions to things. Remember when he took that one girl down in like the parking garage or whatever? Yeah,
I forgot about that. I think it's so difficult. I think this again, it goes back to the same thing with the Joe Rogan thing. Is it dangerous? Like, celebrities have a power of influence on others and stuff like that, but it depends where the line is. Where I'd say with Rogan was giving his own opinion. He weren't actually saying, I'm going to do this to you. If I don't, someone will. This is different. This is someone making the claims that they will do something or have someone do something to someone. That's incriminating. That's what I'm saying. If something happens to, I don't know who he was talking about, this particular group in particular, if something like, let's say right tomorrow we wake up and two of the people from that group are, ended.
Yeah.
The police, the first person the police are going to go to is him, because he said that he was going to do it.
Right.
Like, that's what they would do. They'd go, hang on a minute, these two people have been killed. How? Why? Well, there was this post by this really famous celebrity that said they were going to do something. Oh, let's go and talk to him. He's just kind of set himself up. I don't.
Yeah, he's
a bit bizarre.
He's a bit of a hot button. We'll see how his PR handles this.
They're going to be I'd be freaking out. Imagine if we was his agent and we've just gone online and said, "I'd be like, what are you doing, bro? Like, what are you doing?
Did you just threaten to kill somebody and also have other people join you?"
Like, people are
how is Warner Brothers going to have the Flash when they take the Flash out of it?
That's what I think that's a bit of a nightmare. Do you know the only other person I know it's completely, but we're talking about celebrities. I remember, it's nothing to do with this. I remember when 50 Cent had a beef with Ja Rule, and Ja Rule weren't selling out in his concerts, so 50% bought the first 20 rows of tickets or something, and he went to the concert and sat 20 rows back, 50 Cent, and watched Ja Rule. Sorry, I don't know, we're talking about celebrities, their influence and everything else, and I just remember like seeing that with 50 Cent. But I think this won't be the last we hear of that particular story, because that's big news, man. That's not that's not someone saying, oh, hey guys, there's a sale on, I think you should go and nick some trainers. Like, that's quite a big thing, isn't it? That's quite a big, and he's in a big movie this year. Like, The Flash is massive.
See, I think he posted that and didn't realize that he would get backlash because he was talking about
that
KKK
group.
members.
Yeah.
Now, KKK members, in my opinion, are disgusting.
Exactly.
But we're not like, and they've done horrible, tragic things, and yeah, it's, but at the same time, like, when's the last time you heard of the KKK do anything drastic in the past couple of years? I'm sure in smaller towns there are, but like nationally speaking, I can't think anything that comes to mind.
That's why,
and I'm not defending them by any means. What I'm saying is,
this is why.
Hold on, let me explain myself here real quick.
Sorry.
What I'm saying is like, I think he sees that group as a major threat and just says kill them all and thinks that's going to be okay. And it just didn't flow as well as I thought he thought.
I don't, because I'm in England again. I don't know, like you've just said, I don't know how big of an influence that particular group has on people now. In my opinion, personally, I might be completely wrong. Someone can call me out if I'm wrong. I'd say, I reckon there's probably 5,000-10,000 members of that group, maybe in America. I don't believe
that's all it takes. I mean,
no, I know that's a lot of people, but when America's got 300 million people, you telling me 100 million people are being suppressed by this 5,000 people that are scattered around the country? I don't believe that at all.
No, and this is this topic. This topic might go into an area that I don't know.
No. Of course,
I don't know that we're suited to talk about exactly.
Yeah, of course.
Because I've never been directly affected by this group.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter if there's one or thousands. You have one person screaming hate towards a certain race of people.
Yep.
That one person is dangerous.
Yes.
So if there's 5,000 or 10,000, it doesn't matter if it affects millions. If it affects one person, that is a problem. And I think that's where Ezra Miller is speaking from. I think he's speaking from those heartstrings. Like, listen, we need to nip this in the butt before it gets worse, or before this some sort of quietly subdued group of people rise up and become more dangerous, or as you said, maybe somebody he knows was personally affected.
I think something like that must have happened, because me or you or your average Joe wouldn't go on social. I wouldn't go on social media and threaten someone unless something's really, So something's happened, which we'll probably find out over in the next week or so, where someone he might have been with, dated, girlfriend, cousin, someone that's close to him has been attacked or abused or something by this group, and it's continued to happen. Might be his aunt or uncle's being abused. Who knows?
Yeah.
And he's just gone, you know what? I've had enough of this, and he's just gone online and gone crazy. But it's not going to help his cause in the way that he's done it, I don't think. Doesn't mean I don't agree with him. Like, if someone does something like that to my family, you're going to go mad. But it just, when you what I mean? It's like going on camera, hey man,
well,
I'm
maybe
gonna go and do something. Like, you're literally.
Maybe he needs to go the Joe Rogan route, just to bring that up again. Like a Joe Rogan, on his shows, will say something similar, like, "Don't listen to me. I'm a meathead. I'm just a dude talking to dudes."
Yeah.
Maybe Ezra Miller needs to come out with a post saying, "Listen, I guess a little emotional. Explain himself. This is something that's important to me. But like, don't go out and kill people that you think are in the KKK."
Because if anyone else would do that, like, you just can't. If me or you put something like that out, dude, we'd be, I'd probably have the police come and knock on my door.
I'm probably going to get chastised just for 2 subjects that we talked about on this stream alone.
No, but I think we should, because it's good to open. Again, it's just talking. Like, we're just talking about things. People will agree.
Yeah, but everybody has an opinion, and if somebody disagrees with mine or yours or the way that we worded it or the way that we expressed it's going to trigger somebody, and somebody's going to have something to say about it, and that's fine. That's okay. Let me know in the comments below.
Yeah, I'm
here to discuss with you.
Yeah.
Now moving forward to some less, maybe slightly lesser hot topic issues this is still something that it really puts perspective on how different the world is depending on where you are in the world. Fight Club.
Oh yeah, this is a good one.
Fight Club gets a major re-edit for Chinese streaming. So China is now streaming Fight Club. Now, if you all remember, spoiler alert here, if in Fight Club, at the very end of Fight Club, they kind of bring down the banking community. All the big banks are supposed to explode. All the buildings fall, and it's sort of an anarchy situation. And Edward Norton's character kind of wins out, shoots himself in the jaw, gets rid of Tyler Durden, his alter ego.
Brad Pitt was so hot in that movie.
And he wins the girl and takes down, the corporate bank, the banks. So China didn't like that. So at the end of Fight Club, China has now re-edited the movie to, instead, right before the buildings explode, right before they actually explode and go down, that doesn't happen. You see, Edward Norton and his girlfriend sitting there looking out the window, and then the screen cuts to black. And it shows this. Through the clue provided by Tyler, the police rapidly figured out the whole plan and arrested all criminals, successfully preventing the bomb from exploding. After the trial, Tyler was sent to the lunatic asylum, receiving psychological treatment. He was discharged from the hospital in 2012.
Well,
I don't know if this is the exact quote. This is what I could find.
Yeah.
But I know it's if it's not crazy, exactly this, it might be this exact quote. I don't read Chinese, so I can't discern it myself. But that's how that movie ends. China's streaming now, which completely negates the entire purpose of the movie.
Yeah,
and I can only imagine what other edits were made throughout the film. Tell me, Ramon, what are your thoughts on this sort of editing of movies?
I don't think anything surprises me with China, really. They've got their own way of doing things. Do I do it? Do I agree? No, I don't agree with it. But then, this is China. So,
yeah, it's just kind of their way of, making sure that it's put into the Chinese community's heads like, hey, don't act like this. Don't stand up.
Don't
step out, or you'll be prosecuted to the full extent of the law here.
I remember. Yeah. I remember when I first saw the movie. I didn't like it at all. I'll be honest with you. When I first went to the movies, I must have been 14, 15, and I just thought, oh, Fight Club, it's going to be an action movie, and I was just like, I don't get it. And then when I was older and watched it, I was like, because it's a bit, there's a lot more to it than. Well, the world, it's, world and how you view things and everything. It's a lot deeper than what I initially thought. And I think it's a wonderful movie. It's a good movie, but that does not surprise me in the slightest with China. And it's probably not the first, it won't be the last time something. I dread to think the amount of movies that have been edited over the years. I dread to think, well, that should be something we look into. I bet you any money, like if Darth Vader doesn't really die at the end of Star Wars, he's the guy who opened up Starbucks. I don't know. Like, I bet there's some crazy ones.
Starbucks, and he opens up another one exactly like it. Yeah.
What other movies? Think about it. I'll tell you what I'll look at. Right, have you ever seen a movie? I'm sure it's an American movie, Great Escape. You must have seen The Great Escape. Steve McQueen.
Oh,
right. It's classic. Right, so. The war, the Germans, they all escape. Some of them get caught, some of them don't. I would love to know what China's version of the ending of that would be.
Yeah, I don't know how that movie ends, man. I don't.
Or know. Rocky, or Rambo. I bet there's loads of them.
Oh yeah, movies. I bet so. I wonder if they're just as cheap as that though. Like just cut the black screen and like here's some dialogue of like what we want you to think happened.
Yeah,
it's not even well edited.
And the worst thing about that, in some movies now, at the end of some movies, like epic movies, I don't know, Lord of the Rings, they have like a thing at the end, and it'll go, so and so went back to Mordor, and this person went back to here, and so I'm always going to wonder now. On every movie, did the directors cut something here? Right? Is this really the end? Like, is there another ending?
What this movie's like in China?
Yeah. What's the real ending to this film?
Well, I've heard that they've changed movies, especially like war movies with America, where if we're fighting, like if we're fighting, a Chinese, military or whatever, that they've changed it to where they win. I don't have anything to back that up. I just know I've heard that somewhere. So don't like Joe Rogan. Don't hold my opinion to be fact. Thank you.
No, but it wouldn't surprise me that sort, especially movies like Rambo. Especially, I think it's not Bangkok or Thailand or somewhere like that. I can't imagine the people there that are watching that will watch that with happiness, seeing loads of people killed by Rambo. Do you know what I mean? Right. So it wouldn't surprise me if stuff like that's happened in the past.
Oh, I'm sure there's that would be a good topic. Maybe we can do that on your channel.
I'll have a look.
Yeah,
I'll look into some of them things because there's got to be some films like that have been changed, and I bet as well. There's some that China have changed that are just completely bizarre. That and not even that bad. Like, I don't know, like the ending of Grease. Like they drive off in the car and it's like, no, there's no such thing as flying cars or something like that. Like there's got to be, like, do you know what I mean? I bet there's some of them that are just completely
the back of the car. The back of the car says "Made in China."
yeah, something like that. There's going to be.
Oh boy,
that's a good one. I think we'll look into that. We'll have to look into
that. Real quick, I just want to give Seth another call, see where he's at because I haven't heard from him yet.
You want to bully him, don't you?
I want to bully him.
Such a bully.
I can't help it. Seth is supposed to be with us today, and he's ghosted us.
He might not be well.
Maybe not. But a message would be nice.
Yeah, but what if he's asleep and snuggled up in bed and that?
Oh. Hey, buddy, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Oh, what happened?
I was up really late last night.
Oh, okay.
I could not sleep.
Okay. Well, just FYI, we're live on air right now.
I know.
Okay. Are you watching?
No.
Oh, okay.
Can they hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, they can hear you. We can. Yeah.
Yeah. I was up really late last night. Could not sleep. I don't know why.
He can't hear you, Ramon.
I overslept. Huh?
Oh, I was telling Ramon that you can't hear him.
Oh. Okay. So.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
That's
well.
Well,
you're welcome. Okay. You're welcome to join in anytime. I just wanted to give you a call and make sure, number one, that you're okay. But what did I say this would happen? That he'd be like, "Hello, I was up really late last night." Yeah.
Hello.
Okay.
But we still got about half. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 more topics to talk about. So you're welcome to join in if you want.
Okay. Yeah, I will. Give me about 10 minutes.
10 minutes?
Come on!
I'm giving you an hour and a half, man.
Okay. I'll be there within 10 minutes. Is that a little bit better?
I'm glad we can negotiate. All right. I'll see you soon, buddy. Bye. All right. We got a hold of Seth. He'll be here in 10 minutes. No negotiation.
Within 10 minutes.
Within 10 minutes. Yeah. That was how he negotiated.
Within.
Okay. Minutes. Let's bring this whole shit show into a little lighthearted.
Right. What I'm going to do.
Real quick, I did want to promote, since we're in between topics here, Ramon and I have been doing a little something different, something I've been calling, under the table, More Than Movies, where we discussed more hot button topics on his channel, Miss TV. So please, in the description, you can get a link to his channel. Go there. We've had 2 episodes so far, but we've just been kind of meeting up and just talking about things that don't necessarily have to do with movies or anything like that. But if you feel the need, please go to his link in the description below and check out that content. Now, let's see here. Oh, well, I thought we were going to be a little. I thought we were
like crazy there.
I thought we were going to be a little bit more discreet with our topic here, but oops. Peter Diglitch criticizes Disney over Snow White remake.
Do you know what? I don't know what side of the fence he's actually sitting on here, because I kind of read this article, but not in like great detail. So I don't know what's actually really happened.
Okay. Well, here, I got his quote here. Hopefully it's the right quote for people. You're progressive in one way, but you're still making that fucking backwards story of 7 dwarves living in the cave. What the fuck are you doing, man? Have I done nothing to advance the cause for my soapbox? Guess I'm not loud enough.
That doesn't make sense. So is he saying that he doesn't want that because it's got dwarves in it? Is that
right?
No,
yeah. Well, the more the depiction of the dwarfs, being, just short, goofy little people that live in a cave.
Okay, but it's a fantasy, though, is it not? It's a cartoon fantasy that isn't real.
Right. True. I do see his point, though, like representation. I mean, this movie was made, God, when did Snow White come out? 40s? I can't remember.
Yeah, it's a classic, though.
It.
Yeah, but how many white women do you know walk around like that, singing to animals? I don't know any. That's insulting to white women. Just saying. Like, I just look at it as a fantasy, and the bad thing that I think about it, I know we're going to disagree on this one, which is good, right?
I don't know if we are, but
I think if what he's saying is it shouldn't have, what would you call people? Dwarves, small people? I don't know.
I think dwarves is the
right. Okay, cool. So if he's saying that, then what about all the dwarves that won't work in that film? And if the film gets removed, those get cancelled, then there's 7 dwarves who don't get work because of him. So he's just taking work off people.
Well, but at the same time, with that sort of outlook, should you be like, oh man, they should be happy to get any sort of work they can? We're trying to throw you guys a bone by making this movie. You know, like I get his
fantasy tale, man. It's just
I get his point. I do understand the point he's trying to make. You know, like, you know, he's done a great job with his career, you know, making sure he stays away from like too many of those you know, the movies that they would typically hire dwarfs for. I think Elf is one where they kind of did a satire of him being a dwarf, and also Infinity War, they kind of did a satire joke about
of course,
him being a giant dwarf. Yeah,
and he's a fantastic actor, man. He's
amazing.
I love him.
Amazing. Like, this is one guy, like, when he says stuff like this, like, you know he's gonna kick your ass if he meets you face to face. You know what I mean? Like, he's very passionate man. But where I get a little disconnected with this is, let me take this down. Is his timing. Is his timing of his speech there, where he says, "Have I done nothing to advance the cause for my soapbox? Guess I'm not loud enough." And Disney has actually come back with a rebuttal saying, actually, we have. We've taken steps to reimagine these characters. We've been talking with the dwarf community to talk about how to handle these characters in a respectful manner. Hold on, eyes on the screen, Ramon. Come on, pay attention, listen. So, like, Disney has come out and said, well, actually, we've already taken the steps to rectify this situation.
So what are they going to be, 6 foot?
Well, I don't know, 7 magical creatures. I don't know. They could be.
It's not so Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs, then, is it?
It could be 7 white and the 7 magical creatures. Yes,
maybe. Well, that's not Snow White, then, is it?
Well, whatever. But my point is during a podcast, Peter Diglitch came out and said this statement without knowing what they are doing with those characters. He just assumed that they weren't changing. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Oh, that was happening anyway, right? Okay,
right. And Disney came out and said, "Well, actually, we've already done this."
Disney are idiots.
Disney
are idiots. Then that means you can't have Hook no more. What about people with limbs? You can't have Hook no more. That's offensive to people with limbs.
No,
Here it is.
See, I think you and I might disagree here, because I do see his point, because he doesn't want the dwarf community to be put in a pigeonhole.
They don't have to be
of just playing these goofy story, Wizard of Oz type of characters.
But they don't have to be pigeonholed. It's just one story. It's just one story, one tale that involves dwarves. Of millions of movies, there's still millions of movies you can go and do. That's a fantasy movie. That means you can't have a fantasy movie anymore. What happens with I don't know, what other ones are there? Dwarfism is the actual condition and not a fantastical phrase. Maybe call them gnomes or something. Wow. Okay, dwarfism. Okay, so yeah.
What do you think about that statement? I mean, like, do you think
it's funny?
Do you think
it's funny? Yeah, I'm just trying to be politically correct and not laugh, but it is funny because that's what we forgot to do about things. We forgot to laugh. We forgot to sort of, yes, it's at the expense of someone and everything else, but at the same time, we don't always have to sit here and go, everything has to be serious. We have to change everything. Like, I'm trying to think of other stories, Disney movies that involve people or animals maybe, or just something that's not the norm. Like, is Snow, which one's the one where she talks to animals? Is it Snow White? I think it's Snow White, or is that Cinderella? Whichever one it is that she talks to animals.
I think it's both. I think they both.
Does that mean we can't have live animals in it anymore? And they have to be animated because it's cruelty to animals to use real animals, or there's got to be a line.
The Hunchback. There's one.
See, do you have to have a real hunchback then?
Willow.
See, in Willow, they're doing a new TV series. So does that mean everyone's going to be fired from Willow? Because, well, we can't have small people in it. Because everyone in Willow is small. So...
Right, but Willow, and again, playing devil's advocate here, yeah. Willow is a movie about someone overcoming their size, or their. I don't know. I honestly, I don't know how to word things on social media anymore without getting attacked. But
so what do we do? Do we wipe out all old movies and classic tales if it's offensive to someone? Is that what we got? See what I mean? Nah, man, I disagree.
Maybe, or maybe reimagine them. What you're doing. I mean, and Snow White is getting a makeover herself. They're having.
Oh yeah, she's a Latina, so she's not white.
You,
and Snow White, and exactly. So that's not Snow White.
Well, that's the Snow White in this movie. I know the technical version. The technical reason of Snow White being called Snow White is because her skin was white as snow. Right, but like,
so if she's not Snow White, there's no dwarves in it. It's not Snow White and the Seven Dwarves. It's another story. So just make another story with a Latin girl with loads of animals. Make a new story. Do you see what I'm saying? That's my point. Yeah. That's what I'm trying to say about that. This is what I mean about woke things. You're trying to destroy something that's classic, like that movie. I mean, I don't watch Disney movies. I just remember it as a kid. But that's one of the foundations of why Disney even exists in the first place, for all of those people to be getting paid to remake the movies.
Yeah.
Without that, you wouldn't be here employed to make a remake. I'm just saying, like, you don't crap where you eat. Like, I just think it's a bit. I'm only passionate about things like that because it's like it's the original thing. Like, if you're gonna make something else, just make another movie. Just make another. Right. What can't they make? Can't they write another story that it could be a sequel to Snow White with Latina girl that's about 6 sisters, and it could just be a completely different story. It doesn't matter. People will still go and watch it.
So, do you think just hypothetically speaking here, do you think if they took the 7 dwarves and they as that one Facebook user said, call them gnomes or something, or even just not make them dwarves, do you think that would change? Do you think that would change anything, or do you think that would re-trigger some people into a different direction?
I'd be fuming, because you're still taking, like, I get where he's coming from, Peter Dinklage, but say I'm one of those people and I'm like, yo, Disney's making a new Snow White movie. Boom. I've always wanted to play Happy. I love Happy. He's my favorite. I want to be, I can't go and do it. Why not? Because they've removed that character now. So you're telling me I can't go and apply for that job because you've removed. So to me, it's removed. Well, it's also removed people's work.
Easy for us to say because neither one of us have dealt with dwarfism. I know. Yeah, we never have.
Yeah, but it's still a fantasy. Like, look at every fantasy movie we've ever seen, bro. Growing up, every fantasy movie cannot be made then. Labyrinth's got short dudes in it. R2-D2's got a short person in it in Star Wars. So that means we can't make...
Okay, but it's not the fact of all short people or dwarves in movies. It's not that concept. It's more of, okay, we're going to use their dwarfism as the punchline in the movie. I think that's what he's trying to get at here. He doesn't want the dwarfism to be the punchline. And in Snow White, that kind of is the point. Yeah, their stature, their size they are, their body build is the comical part of those characters. So, like, I think that's Peter's point, is get rid of that aspect of it. I listen, man. I don't have a foot in this race. I don't. Yeah, I
don't agree.
I can't relate. But outside looking in, the only thing I can really come up to is
I look at it from the perspective. I don't look at it of this is again. This goes to the whole woke thing again. This goes back to how I feel about something. I don't watch movies because of how I feel about something. I watch it because it's a fantasy and it's an escape. It's a fantasy movie. It's not. Like, does this mean again? It just goes back to the same thing. There's thousands of movies over the years that means you've got to wipe them all out then, because it's going to affect everything. Will offend someone at something. Everything. Right. If you look at
especially this comment,
Snow Brown and the 7 Gnomes. There you go. See. Yeah, but that's what I mean. I disagree. You can't. I don't agree with putting things like that. It's wrong, man. Like, it's there's jokes and there's funny and whatever, but I've got no problem, like, with the girl who's casting it, who's playing Snow White, the Latina girl. Just make a new movie. That's not even me. That's not me being insulting. I'm trying to say that's a progressive thought. That's me saying, why are you just making in other words, all they're doing basically, Disney, is taking the brand name because it sells. We're making a completely new story with completely different background, completely different everything, but we're using that name because that's what sells. That's what that is to me. Because if it's
that is what they're doing. They're
so is Snow White in it? No. Is there any?
Oh, hold on. Don't enter the stream. Do not enter the stream. We have a special breaking story coming up. All right. Well, Jesus, where'd Ramon go? Well, okay. I guess we can only have 3 people in the live chat at once. I put that special breaking announcement because Seth is alive and well. Hello, buddy. Welcome to the stream. You've apparently scared off Ramon, or he went to the bathroom or something. I don't know what.
Oh, there's Ramon.
Oh, there he is. Hey, buddy. Okay. Oh. I think you've scared him.
Let's move him back to the top.
Okay.
I was so busy last night.
All right.
So busy last night.
Yeah, Seth,
I didn't say I was busy last night.
How's your hangover? Is it good? You doing well?
So busy.
Drink some orange juice. Have some eggs.
Busy last night.
Seth is late today. No call, no show. Yeah.
What do you mean no show? I'm right here.
Yeah,
well,
because you called you and woke you up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, look, there he is. Look.
You got something to say for yourself, buddy? He didn't like that. Okay. Okay, Seth, where we're at.
Do you hate wolves?
Oh, let's not do that. Dwarves. Let's not do that. We are talking about, as soon as I can find it. We were talking about Peter Dinklage criticizes Disney over Snow White remake, and the quote that we have here is, you're progressive in one way, which he's speaking about them hiring a Latino actress to play Snow White, and still making that fucking backward story of 7 dwarves living in a cave. What the fuck are you doing, man? Have I done nothing to advance the cause? From my soapbox, I guess I'm not loud enough, which in turn was also proven wrong because Disney did rebuttal and said, actually, we are. We've already taken steps to rectify that. Maybe you should just wait for the movie before saying stupid shit. Or not stupid shit, but before saying triggered statements like that. So that's where we're at, buddy. Just get you caught up.
All right.
Do you have an opinion on this subject at all?
I mean, I saw it, earlier this week. I didn't really know what to think of it. I was like, yeah, sure, he has a point. But then when Disney came out and said that they aren't doing they aren't going to have the dwarves in there, I was like, oh, okay. And then I just kind of forgot about it. Like,
right. Yeah.
I didn't have anything to there was nothing.
The magic behind Seth. This magic behind Seth is that he knows how to put things in such a simple way that Ramon and I just spent 20 minutes just saying that essential same thing.
Yep.
All right. Well, Ramon, is there anything else you want to add to this conversation with Peter Dinklage?
I think it's silly, isn't it? That's all. I just think it's silly.
I think him coming out with that statement way before even seeing if they were going to do anything. I think that's the ridiculous part of it. He didn't know. He didn't know if that's what they were doing. He just assumed, and he was wrong. So I think that's the one thing we need to watch out with this cancel culture, this quick trigger, atmosphere that we live in, is maybe ask Disney, well, have you rectified that? It goes back to discussion, goes back to opening a dialogue instead of just quickly attacking somebody.
At the same time, I've got to say, I'm sorry, I just think it's a dumb idea for a movie. If you've got a movie called Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs, Snow White isn't in it and there's no dwarves in it. So what is it then? It's not Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs, is it? You don't have RoboCop without RoboCop in it. It's like,
I don't think it's called Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs this time.
Yeah, it's just as good as
Snow White. That's what I'm saying to you. So just make a new film then. So it's not Snow White, is it? Yeah. That's my point. Just make another film and everyone's happy.
just call a movie, call it Lost in the Woods.
Lost in the Woods, Lost in a Princess or something like it. So everyone will back it and support it anyway. That's what I mean.
Aaron White says 7 dwarves live in a nice cottage in the woods, not and I'm assuming he means not a cave. So Peter Dinklage, get your facts straight. Coming from Film Trigger, we got our facts straight all the time. 100% true.
Always.
Listen to everything we say. Take all of our medical advice.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh man, people take things way too seriously.
Red Bull really does give you wings. I was flying yesterday.
Oh yeah, you're drinking Red Bull today. I'm drinking coffee. Seth needs, I don't know. Whoa.
You need to clean your desk.
No, I used it to clean my room yesterday.
Oh, that spray right there. That's how Seth washes his clothes.
Yep. I just kind of go around just
spraying them. Nice. Like brand new.
I lay all my clothes on the ground and just go around and then I just cover the whole thing and then we're done.
I might give that a go.
Yeah, it works.
Right. I'll try it.
Okay, so there's a new sorry, I got my shit mixed up. Okay, there's a new Mario Brothers movie coming out. Charlie Day is playing Luigi, and Charlie Day says Super Mario Brothers script is top secret, even from him. As a matter of fact, his exact quote in this situation is, "I'm playing Luigi. In fact, I was recording that this morning, and I'd love to tell you about it, but they are top secret with that stuff. I know nothing. Mario's probably in the know, but they don't tell Luigi anything." Okay.
What is this movie hiding?
No. It's not hiding anything. This is literally Andrew Garfield saying, he's not in the movie. Like he knows exactly what the movie's about. He's just trying to get buzz behind it.
That'd be funny though.
It's
if there was secret. If there actually was some top secret stuff in this movie. The only thing I could theoretically, the only thing I could possibly imagine is they bring in another Nintendo character, from something else. If Link from Legend of Zelda showed up or something that I could imagine being top secret. But
the entire movie is them chasing the hunter from Duck Hunt at the beginning, because Duck's life matters.
Or they could do a crossover. It could be Super Mario Brothers and the Seven Dwarfs.
Whoa!
Just saying.
Well, listen. Super Mario Brothers already has enough woke people up its ass for hiring.
Really?
Non-Italian characters or actors to play Italian characters. So let's choose our battles here, Ramon.
I'm only excited because Seth wants to see this so much.
Well,
I do. I want to see this so bad. It sounds like a disaster, but it also sounds like it has a chance at being okay.
Maybe Snow White should mix with Mario Brothers, and they can solve the dwarfism issue with them eating those mushrooms, and then they just all grow, and then we don't have that issue in the movie anymore.
Magic mushrooms. That's what everyone should take.
that's what solves everything. Magic mushrooms.
Magic mushrooms, right?
Okay. All right, I'm moving on because there's really not too much to talk about with Mario Brothers, in my opinion. I'm like about it.
Best movie of the year.
Sonic was one of those that completely surprised me. I still to this day love Sonic. So
really?
maybe it will get the Sonic treatment. Who knows?
Still not seen it.
Oh well, that's you. That's what you do. You're like Seth. You don't see movies.
What are you talking about
this week?
What's that?
What did I watch this week, Stephen?
Oh, a movie that came out 3 months ago.
No, what did I watch this week, Stephen?
I don't remember.
What did I watch this week, Stephen?
Peacemaker, episode 5, which we'll talk about later.
Boba Fett, Ghostbusters, Cobra Kai, James Bond, and
you're still watching Cobra Kai?
No.
James Bond came out months ago. So did. Oh, I'm just messing with it. It's been an ongoing thing. Oh, poor Ramon. Listen, buddy. Hey, look at us. We love you. It's okay. It's busy. I haven't watched so many movies this year.
You should do a review of the Karate Kid series.
Oh yeah, I still got it
from the 80s ones.
I put in my Karate Kid series review when I did the third one. I said I'm not going to do any more from the series unless somebody asks me to. And of course, Aaron White jumps in and says, "Oh yeah, you should review the other two." And I'm like, I'm like, okay. Aaron said it. I got to do it. All right. So moving forward, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is coming out soon. And James Gunn says, "This is the end for us. The last time people will see this team of Guardians. It's big. It's so big and dark. That's what she said, and different from what people might be expecting it to be.
Bring me to it. I'll say that.
So James Gunn pretty much saying this is the last Guardians of the Galaxy movie that we're going to get. I am going to harp on his words here because he did say it's the last that you'll see of this team. That doesn't necessarily mean
we're going to get more. We're going to get more
them
Guardians movies probably. Like we'll get more movies with these people in it, like you said. You know, I'm sure one of them is going to die at least. But
who do you think they would let die? Not
Drax.
Gamora. She can't die again.
It's Drax. It's gonna be Drax. The only reason I say Drax is because of Dave Bautista. Because ever since he was in Army of the Dead, I guess in his mind he's discovered what being in true cinema is. So he hasn't like shut up about how bad the Marvel universe is. So like he just keeps going on that, and he keeps going on about how miserable he is when he makes those movies. So like, yeah, he's out because he's making this one. So there's no way he comes back again unless, I guess, money talks.
I think he's out as well. And he said he's Bradley Cooper's just said that it's the last one he's doing. Rocket. Yeah. There was an article the other day. Seriously, yeah, he said this is the last time he's doing Rocket.
He's playing that character. Well, how many actors have said that before? It comes.
I doubt that's the last time this is the last time we see Rocket.
Yeah, but then if James Gunn's gone, Drax is gone. It's only
unless Rocket gets killed.
Yeah, I think he'll. Do you know what's funny? I don't know about you guys. Did you ever play there's a Telltale games of
Batman
Guardians Galaxy?
Oh,
and I didn't realize Rocket's backstory is tragic, bro.
Well, yeah, he has a huge upset about it. I think in Infinity War, where he's like, you know what it's like to be taken apart and put back together, a thousand times.
There's a part in the game, and I don't know if they'll cover this in the thing, so I might as well say it because it's probably not that important anyway. But he's tested on in a lab, right? And they're like ripping off his arms and all this. And in the next cage or enclosure is a female raccoon that they fall in love, and near the end of it, they escape. When they've all been tortured and that, they escape. As they're leaving, she gets shot, and I was like, "Whoa!" Like it's real. That's what I'm saying. That a story like that should be put in something like this, like a back. You know what I mean? Like this is what happened to him, because that's tragic, man. Like even in the game, I was like, "That's so messed up."
Yeah, I don't know if there's enough room for that.
Yeah.
Story just
because I didn't know
in a Guardians of the Galaxy, maybe a Rocket prequel.
Yeah, like when I was playing the game, I was like, oh man, I knew he had like a backstory. I didn't actually know what it was though, and I was like, that's so sad. Like it's awful, but it'd be a really good, tearjerker for fans and stuff to sort of find out a bit more about him.
Yeah, I don't think this is going to be the end of Guardians of the Galaxy. Well, okay, let me rephrase that. This is going to be the end of James Gunn making these movies, and I don't know if they're going to. The way it sounds like is James Gunn has put a nice conclusion on the Guardians of the Galaxy, but I don't think this means what maybe a lot of people are thinking it means, which is, all these characters we'll never see again. No, he's saying you won't see the team again, but I think you'll see these characters pop in and out of other movies as they go or do their own solo stuff, stuff like, things like that. Or maybe you won't, but it's a Marvel Cinematic Universe. They have all the money and money talks. So these actors will come back. Even Bradley Cooper will come back, given the right dollar amount, I believe. Go ahead, Seth. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, I think we'll get more Guardians movies, like
really?
but with a different team, because that's
fair,
like
fair.
You know how with like the Suicide Squad, they have like different members, like their members change all the time.
Is the Guardians of the Galaxy like that?
In the comics, there's like a bunch of different versions of the Guardians,
with different names, like Quill's not in every team, and Gamora's not in every team. Okay.
Yeah, the main one now is the same one in the movies, but like throughout history, there's been a bunch of different people in the Guardians.
It'd make more sense. It would make more sense as well with Chris Hemsworth if he moves off of doing 4 movies and goes on to do that with like the characters he's met throughout Thor, and they're part of that. That would kind of work. Because I would be more interested in that. Like if he's off world doing whatever he's doing with a team, that would be pretty cool.
That's a good point you make, Seth. Now that you bring up that aspect of it, I totally see what you mean now. So, but there would have to be one existing member. Like there would have to be one member.
Yeah, I feel like there will be one.
So who would that be? It probably wouldn't be Groot because he's unintelligible. Yeah, I don't know why I said that. Groot because he's unintelligible and his lack of communication skills.
I don't think it would be Star-Lord. I feel like that's the first person that everyone would go to. I don't think it'd be Star-Lord. That's like that's like the most boring choice.
What's her name? Nebula. I bet Nebula would be a good one.
There you go. That's a Nebula, maybe Mantis. Maybe Mantis. I feel like she'll end up sticking with someone else.
Mantis would be a good sidekick with Nebula. Nebula and
I love Nebula.
Story right there.
You know who it should have been?
Who?
Yondu.
Oh,
Yondu.
Well, he's dead. So
yeah, I know he's dead.
Yeah. He was so great in that, man. Rooker was so great in it, man. He was.
Yeah, brilliant. But I like how his story ended. He needs to stay.
It was no. I agree with that. But he was so great in it. He was brilliant. He was brilliant, man. That scene in the second one as well, where he says to Groot, "Go and get my thing," when he's in the, and he keeps coming back with the wrong things. When he's in the cell and he says, "Go and get my," I don't know, he's whistling thing. The Mohican thing, and Groot keeps coming. Oh, mate, I love them. I love them movies.
Al from Dark Side Reviews, what's up, buddy? He says Gamora. I was thinking Gamora, but like I'm also thinking of like actor status, and like she's all up in Avatar's ass right now, and but she would be a good potential to lead the Guardians of the Galaxy. But I feel like Nebula would be a better fit just because of her triumphant story that she has, her overcoming story. She's earned that spot. Gamora, not saying Gamora hasn't earned it, but that's just kind of who she's always been. She's always been that same type of character. Nebula has had such a story arc. It would be nice to see that play out to where she's now the leader of this, good team, the good guys. That's the reason why I say Nebula.
I think the only reason I say no to Gamora is because I feel like if Quill leaves the Guardians, I feel like Gamora would go with him. I know that technically, like, in this new movie, Gamora isn't the same Gamora from the other Guardians movies, but something will happen in this movie, I'm sure, to where she either somehow gets her memories back to this version of Gamora. I don't know what'll happen, but I feel like if Quill leaves, Gamora's going to go with him.
So. Why
that makes sense. What's that?
Why is Gamora?
How is Gamora?
Why?
Betty says Nebula. Yes. Karen Gillan.
She's great, isn't she?
Gillan, whatever. Dude, I love her. Like, I just love that character. Again, the
Nebula's amazing.
The story arc that character has is like one of like the quietest but like most impactful story arcs of the MCU. Yeah. It's seriously just so distant of how much she progresses. I want her to be the leader of the new Guardians of the Galaxy. Al says it could be you, Seth.
Hey,
I don't think that's what he means, but
hey,
what could be Seth? What could be Seth?
I think he's agreeing with me.
Oh, that could be.
That could be.
Seth.
Yeah, okay. I think that's what he means. I don't think he's saying I'm going to go to the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Commas are important. Kids.
No, I do it.
Punctuation. All right. Let's move forward here. Also, more James Gunn news. Actually, oh shit, I gotta take that off. Seth, remove that comment. Thank you.
Okay.
Well, I'm lost in my like own little hell over here with all this stuff I got to control. All right, so James Gunn hints at a new Suicide Squad spinoff. Okay. We've talked about this a little bit before. He doesn't announce who it is, but he says the new spinoff is going to be darker, not as comical as Peacemaker, but it is going to exist in the same universe. And it being a spinoff series. Yes, it's going to be a series on HBO Max. That's why it says spinoff for HBO Max. I didn't write series. My bad. But yeah. So what do you think this could be? Who do you think this could be?
Now that you throw in, I didn't know that he said it was going to be a little darker than Peacemaker. Yes. I didn't know that. I say Ratcatcher.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, Ratcatcher is
that's
a
the
good
one
one.
with the darkest tower, and that's the one I would probably love to see the most.
Yeah,
because she was so good in that movie. Like that's probably my other than what's his name? It's a weasel.
Polka Dot Man. Oh, Weasel.
And Polka Dot Man.
I want a Polka Dot Man show. I don't know
want a
how
Polka
it would
Dot Man.
work,
I want a
but
prequel. I want a
I love
Polka Dot
him.
Man prequel. His story leading up to Suicide Squad is just as interesting.
I feel like
oh, Dark. Yeah, Al says, yeah, yes, he's agreeing, and he used a comma this time. Thank you, Al. Sorry, man. I didn't mean to make me an asshole.
Don't have it, Al. Don't have it, mate.
Ramon's trying to start shit. Here we go.
No. I'm just saying I wouldn't have it, Al. I'm just backing you up, mate. I wouldn't have it. Go on. Sorry.
I think it will be Ratcatcher, and I think we'll spend. Maybe it'll be similar to Boba Fett, where there's a lot of flashbacks, but also a lot of what takes place after the Suicide Squad. And I feel like the main reason they're going to do the prequel, or I think a lot of people will be interested in a prequel, is because Taika Waititi plays the first Ratcatcher. So you'll have that Taika Waititi, people like him, people know who he is. He's a likable person. But then people have gotten themselves attached to who is Ratcatcher now. I can't remember the person who plays her, but people like her in the movie. So people will be interested.
I can't remember her name, but she's a French actress. Yeah.
People will be interested in her story even when Taika isn't there. But yeah,
Gunn
I feel like
is going to start the Gunverse by Zach. Yeah, welcome to the Snyderverse, brought to you by James Gunn. Yeah, that's kind of where we're going with this. That's a very good point. So yeah, Ratcatcher definitely would be. I think that'd be the smartest way to go for sure. And I do vote for a Polka Dot Man prequel series.
I love that.
Well.
I love that character. I just thought he was great.
And just the psychological endeavors that show could have would be amazing.
I said it last week, but I'll say it again this week. Blackguard deserves his own show. He was. He was the first one to get shot on the beach. He totally deserves his own show.
Give me a reason why he deserves his own show, because I didn't even remember who the fuck that was. Like, give me a reason why he deserves his own show.
One, it's Pete Davidson. He's likable. Two, I read this thing one time where someone kind of like gave out their own pitch for the show. I'd be more interested in that. If I had read what Peacemaker is about and then read what Blackguard, like a theoretical Blackguard show was about, and told me, okay, you get to choose which one of these gets to be made. Probably would have chosen Blackguard because it sounded really interesting. Because you had the guy who plays Blackguard.
So you read somebody like a fan concept of a Blackguard series,
and now I'm completely sold on it.
All right. See, I was wondering
really interesting.
I was wondering where it was coming from, because like there was nothing in the movie that derived that opinion that I could figure out, and that's what I was trying to figure out. Was there something I missed? Okay, but you read something somewhere. Yeah, and maybe next week, or send me a link and we can look into that fan series next week or something.
If I can find it again, yeah,
I'm sure it'd be good. It'd be good to do that. Yeah, okay, cool. New Suicide Squad spinoff, HBO Max. I'm happy James Gunn is leaving the Marvel and coming into DC, even though DC is a bittersweet situation. At least it seems like they have some sort of direction. I don't know. I get scared of even saying that, because as soon as I say that, they're gonna fire James Gunn.
Yeah,
because I said that.
Yeah, there's aspects of DC that I'm not happy with right now, but James Gunn is not one of those.
Right. That's a good way to put that.
I'm really happy with what James Gunn is doing, and I'm glad that he's going to keep going.
All right. So speaking of not really spinoffs, but sequels, this Seth, you see what I have. You see what I have down there.
Yeah, I see it.
I don't know if this is this confirmed. Is this fake? What is this? Before we dive into what it is, do you know any information about where this came from exactly?
This specific piece of information about it came from a pretty hit and miss source, but this movie is happening. This movie's happening.
It came from Ramon?
Yeah, no, I didn't even think about it.
He's our hit or miss source.
But I still want to talk about it because this movie is happening.
Oh.
Poor Ramon. You keep making him sad. Why do you keep doing that?
No, he just gets triggered too easy.
But I mainly sent the article because this movie is happening. Like, even if this specific piece of information is not true, which I'm pretty sure it is, you had this main source that released it, but you had, what is he doing? You had this source that released this information, but all of the other like reliable websites were like kind of reposting this same article. So
okay, so maybe we should share
that's
the
why
article,
I sent
then.
it.
What is the article?
Yes.
Rubbish, loads of rubbish. Chuck it in
Joker
the
2
dustbin.
in the works for 2023 release.
Get in the bin.
So yeah, Joker 2 is happening.
I would never ever say Joker 2 is happening until Joaquin Phoenix himself says Joker 2 is happening.
Last time he talked about it, he said he wasn't sure what the status was, but then a couple weeks later, WB did like this thing where they I don't know how they do it or what it is really, but a bunch of pictures show up on my Twitter homepage of like movies, and like it shows the title, the cast, the directors. That's how we found out Michael Keaton was in Batman. That's how we found out Michael Shannon was in the Flash movie. You know, this is how we found this stuff out. So it is true stuff. And Joker 2 was on there at one point, like a while ago. Joker 2, directed by Todd Phillips, starring Joaquin Phoenix. That's all it said.
Can I just say thank you, Al? You're a real sweetheart from Dark Side Reviews.
Oh, man. Yeah, he said Ramon is crazy. He is crazy. He really got you right for that one. Good observation, Al. Ramon is absolutely nuts. Okay, that's Ramon doing his best weasel impression. All right, so Joker 2, I would not believe it until Joaquin Phoenix himself says it's going to happen. I even if Todd Phillips says it, I wouldn't believe it until Joaquin Phoenix says it himself.
The thing yesterday also said that they turned in the first draft yesterday. Like, this movie doesn't need to happen. Come on. Like, when is someone going to say it? Like,
it doesn't need to happen because right now, as the movie is, it's an enigma. It's got a huge question mark over what that story is, and to continue that would ruin that integrity of the movie.
I'm not saying that this movie is a guaranteed disaster. Maybe somehow this movie comes out and it's a masterpiece. We watch it, we're like, wow, that's even better than the first one. There's a chance that happens, but it's so obvious that they're doing this purely because it made money. Like, that's the only reason they're doing this movie.
The only way I'd see something like that being as good as the first one is if they went down the route of keeping it very serious and making it like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, which was in the asylum. It had Jack Nicholson, and if this was based in Arkham Asylum and it was just a movie set in there about this guy who's crazy, you could make a really, really good movie, well-written movie like that. But it wouldn't really be. It would be Joker because he's the character in it. But I'm saying it wouldn't really be like a Joker movie. It would just be this guy who's lost his mind, and you could make an Oscar-worthy sort of movie with him in it. But that was the first movie. You're taking the first movie and putting it in a different atmosphere.
Well, that's probably what they're going to do this time. So
I personally, I don't think you should touch it because it's just.
I love that concept of it being in a dream state. I love that concept of it, like it possibly didn't happen. You know, like how many times is it 11:11 a day? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you know, at least twice a day. So like, I don't know, the concept of it possibly not being real is something that is not proven or can't be denied, and that's what I like about this movie. It could exist as a real thing or in his head, and I don't want to know the answer to that.
I watched it again recently, and I mean, I really loved it when it first came out, and it's not one of those that I'd go back to sort of revisit all the time, like, you know, Batman and Superman. It's not one of those I'm going to go back and watch all the time. And I don't know, I was just in the mood the other week, and I watched it, and I was just like, again, I was like, damn, he was so good in this film.
Yeah,
like,
he was.
Just everything about his movement, it's like it's just one of those perfect performances from an actor that's just, I think, incredible performance.
I think now that I think about it a little bit more, if Todd Phillips and Joaquin Phoenix both come back and they do it under their own merit, not because Warner Brothers offered them a bunch of money, and they are confident in their script. If it is announced that Joaquin Phoenix himself comes out and says, yes, this movie's happening, me and Todd have worked together, we're really happy and proud, even though I'll be skeptical of where this story could go and how it could impact the first movie, I do need to put some trust into
I would.
people.
I would. If all of that team was involved, because Phoenix wouldn't sign on. I just don't believe he would sign on for a money game, because he's rich anyway. He doesn't need money. He can do anything he wants. So I think, and he's always been careful and selective on any movie that he's done. He's not the sort of guy to he's not Nicolas Cage, where he's going to put out 20 movies a year. So you're right. I think if he did, and it was to happen, there would be a solid story. So, give it.
You bring up something that I was thinking about a couple weeks ago, and that's, I realized that I get a lot more excited for random projects when someone wants to tell the story. Like, I'm going to use Peacemaker as an example. If WB was like, oh, we want to do a Peacemaker show, we just need to find someone to do it, I would have been like, that's random. Like, who wants a Peacemaker show? Why do you want to do a Peacemaker show? Like, they're looking for someone to write it, meaning they don't even have a story. They just picked a random character. They want to do it. But the difference with Peacemaker is James Gunn went to them. James Gunn wanted to tell a Peacemaker story.
Right.
So that actually made me excited a little bit. The trailers kind of pushed me away from that.
But you know what?
The concept of it made me excited before.
Yeah, but you know what I think adds to it as well, and I know I'm always complaining about it, is that I feel we get a lot of the same old thing. We get a lot of the same old, like, I know we all love Spider-Man. Saying I've got to make a vid about Joker too. Yeah, I think with Peacemaker, like you, I was very, I don't know. And it ended up, I love it. I absolutely love the show. And I think again,
it's a good show. We'll talk about that here in just a minute.
I think it's the thing of what I'm always like waffling on about and moaning about remakes and all of that all the time, like, and the anti-remake guy. But it's true, like, if the Ratcatcher comes, if that's announced, I'm like, yo, I'm hyped for that. I haven't got a clue what that's going to be about. So it's more intriguing than them doing, I don't know, a Harley Quinn show. As much as I like, Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, it's like, that's the obvious choice. If you go for Ratcatcher, I'm like, okay, I'm kind of know what it's going to be about, but I don't. So that's going to be more interesting. And I was so wrong about Peacemaker. Yeah. I was dreading it. I was absolutely dreading it.
Right.
And I'm like counting the days, bruv. I'm like, yo, I can't wait.
And it turned out to be great. And like, I was like you, I wasn't too excited for it. I had mild excitement. But when you gave your thoughts on it, I couldn't wait to turn it on, because
I'm angry at myself.
How excited you were when you saw the first episode. But we'll dive more into Peacemaker here just a little bit.
Sorry,
Dark Side Review says, I was thinking the same thing, everyone. They shouldn't do it. I gotta make a vid about Joker 2. Al, if you do, invite me, invite Ramon, invite Seth.
It's kind of
we got some good things to say about this stuff. You don't have to invite us, but yeah, it'd be nice. Do it.
You put him on the spot like that. Wow.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm going to put that in the promo for Drive-By News.
Right, to like bounce off what you were saying, if like you said, with that team, if it's that team of the same writers, the same everything behind it, and they know that it's going to be good.
With their story.
Like, I'm not going to sit here and, even if it was announced, I'm not going to go, oh, wow, I'm so excited. But I know that it would be a good project, because, as I say, Phoenix just isn't the sort of, he's just not going to go, oh, yeah, I don't know what it is. Yeah, put me in for it. I'll do it. He's just not that guy. He's too, I wouldn't say it's ego, but he's too serious about his craft to just do anything. He's like, no, he'll be the sort of guy to sort of read the entire script back to front, back to front, and go, okay.
He's never done a sequel to any of his movies.
So,
not one.
Interesting. We'll see what happens. But if they do, again, if they announce it, you must, like you say, the benefit of the doubt, they must know they've got something.
I don't know. If Warner Brothers leaks stuff like this, to me, all I see is Warner Brothers using a bully tactic, going, hey, we put it out there for 2023. So like, if you have something right now, it's the best time to let us know. That's what I see, because
you're probably right,
Warner Brothers. So is your light keep going out?
No, I'm messing with it.
Mess with it later. Now you're darker, so
I know. I don't know what's going on with it because the other one is too bright, but this one is too dark.
No, that's okay.
This Joaquin Phoenix, if this movie happens, is only the second actor to play Joker in 2 live-action movies.
No, say that again. Oh, Jared Leto.
Jared Leto was the first.
Yeah, that's right.
I had to think that.
Imagine that. Jared Leto, the first person to play a Joker in 2 different movies.
That's it's crazy. Yeah.
Who knew?
And it's strange, you know. You've got to give props though to all the actors. I know everyone has their favorite version of Joker, but you've got to give the props to every single one of them because they become such iconic roles just because it's Joker anyway. But
yeah,
when you think about it, Jack Nicholson probably got maybe 15 minutes on film. Heath Ledger was probably around the same, maybe 15 minutes totally.
No, they had a lot more than that. I think you're underestimating that. Oh yeah. Jack Nicholson was like co-star of the Batman. Like he was in that movie quite a bit.
Wasn't he credited before Michael Keaton?
Well, yeah, because it stars. But you see that, you still see that. You know, I mean, Drew Barrymore was credited in the original Scream movie before anyone else, and she was only in the movie for 10 fucking minutes.
I was so annoyed. I was
spread out right at the beginning.
When I first saw that movie, I was so angry when that happened to her because I love Drew Barrymore as a legend, man, and like, I get it for the film and everything. It was great, but I was like, damn it, man, it's Drew Barrymore. Come on.
Right. So yeah, Joker 2. If it happens in the right way, I'll be skeptical but excited if it happens the way they want it to happen.
If it doesn't happen, I'm still happy because
I'll have to put trust into Todd Phillips and Joaquin Phoenix and put trust in that they're not doing it just out of excitement or for money. They're doing it because this is the natural way the story should progress. And who knows, we might get an answer to the question if the movie happened in his head or for real. But if it happened in his head, then it would turn into it would turn into One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest type of story. It would turn it,
that's the sort of film I would like,
and it would completely strip it from the DC. Like it would just turn into a whole different thing.
If it was that sort of thing, I wouldn't. Because it's him. Like he would just be so phenomenal on his own. He don't really need a lot, does he? It's just him. He's just great.
That'd be interesting. Oh man, now I'm curious.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
Hashtag release Joker 2. Warner Brothers got me again. You son of
release the Joker cut.
Yeah. Release the director's original vision cut. You fucking mooks. All right. Speaking of sequels, segue. Mortal Kombat 2 is moving forward. Thank you, Ramon.
I think that was the worst film of last year, along with Army of Thieves and Army of the Dead or whatever it is. All 3 of those, put them in the bin.
Yeah, but they got Marvel writer for Moon Knight. He's set.
Yeah, he's famous for writing Fantastic Four from 2015. That's everyone's favorite Marvel movie.
Well done, Seth.
Don't insult that gem of a movie, okay?
Please don't tell me you like that.
I love that movie.
You're alone here.
Are you serious?
I promise.
I love the concept of that movie, okay? Yes.
Wait, we're talking about the remake of the Fantastic Four that bombed. You like that film?
Yeah. I do.
No, but in saying that,
let me rephrase. The third act is a shit show. I hate all the reshoots, but conceptually speaking, I wish they would have let Josh Trank just finish his movie. I think Josh Trank's original movie would have been absolutely phenomenal. Hashtag release a Josh Trank cut. Anyway, Mortal Kombat 2 moving forward.
Josh Trank is weird to me. Just sticking on that for 1 second, because he released Chronicle, which is like one of my favorite movies.
Yeah,
and he hasn't made a good movie since.
That's a
hold on, no, because his Fantastic Four is just like Joss Whedon's Justice League. And that's what his Fantastic Four is. They rewrote the thing, they reshot it.
Such an underrated gem, though, bro.
It is. It's a great movie.
Do you know what's messed up about that? Yeah, one of my mates he works in film doing like visuals and stuff. It was him years back that was on my case. He goes, "You have to watch this movie." And I said, I've never heard of it. And he got it, gave me it, and I was like, that was bloody amazing. And what's his name? Dane, who played that dude's amazing.
Oh, the guy
Like,
played Green Goblin and the
and
Amazing
that's why
Spider-Man 2.
that's why I felt he was underused or not done right as Green Goblin, because I think he was so good in that film. Chronicle, he's just my God, he's such a good actor.
And that movie's set up for a sequel too. Like,
it's a great film.
Totally set up for a sequel.
I love that movie. Well done to you, Seth, for seeing that, man. Like, honestly, I don't even mean that in a like patronizing way. Like, a lot of people don't. They know it, but not a lot of people really know that movie, and I think that's such an underrated film. Like, for the superhero, that kind of, I just think it's a bloody wicked movie. I love it.
It is.
I love it.
I absolutely love that movie. But so now, not that movie, but the one you don't like, Fantastic Four, Four Stick, as it's also known. The writer of that is coming on for Mortal Kombat 2, which doesn't mean anything. The story wasn't bad.
I mean, I guess it's an improvement from the writer of the first movie, who had never written anything before. So,
well, at least they're moving
it
in
showed.
the right direction.
Sorry for being disrespectful. I don't like to be
crap.
disrespectful to people, but it was definitely a first script, and I mean that in not a nice way, because
Mortal Kombat
that was
crap.
That is still, I watched 16 movies last year, and that is still my least favorite movie of the year. That made it below Space Jam 2 somehow.
They made a perfect Mortal Kombat movie in the first 15 minutes of that movie.
Okay.
Yes.
And then the rest of it.
I thought you were going to start praising this movie. I was going to be like, oh,
do you know what? Do you know what? That felt like, what's that when the switch and bait? You know when they say that about like He-Man, Masters of the Universe, it's going to be men, and then it's like the woman. It's like, look, we got caught out. That was what Mortal Kombat done to me. Like that first 15 minutes, bro, Sub-Zero, the story of them. And I was like, you know what? Subtitles and all this. I was like, you know what? All you need to do is have 4 or 5 characters like this, tell their stories, and then it goes to a tournament, whatever. I was like, this is going to be bloody amazing. That first intro, I was like, I'm feeling this. Just completely switched after that, and I'm like,
yeah, it completely switched off.
No,
the two things that movie had going for it was, you know, the opening scene, and then the visual effects with the ice. You know, I thought was just really good. That's what I'm bringing up. The ice looked really good in that movie.
You know who they need to get rid of?
Everyone.
I gave him a chance in the first movie. I did not like him one bit. Cole Young needs to go. Cole Young does not need to be part of this franchise. No. I have no idea why they thought that was even like remotely a good idea. Like, and I've been saying this for a while.
I don't think it was anybody thinking that they wanted it was going to be a good idea. I think what it was is, especially for a first-time writer, they're like, "Ooh, I have a chance to insert myself in the Mortal Kombat mythology and create my own character." They weren't thinking of the story; they were thinking of you know, what the attention they'll receive for creating a new character, you know, in the Mortal Kombat lore. That's where that mindset was going, in my opinion.
Do you know what? Sorry, go on, man.
I was just gonna say I've been saying this ever since the movie came out. The reason Johnny Cage is not in the first movie is because they wanted to put out that first movie. They wanted to prove themselves as a good franchise, and they wanted to get star power to be Johnny Cage. Like, they're not going to get some massive star power for this low budget kind of okay script Mortal Kombat movie.
Yeah.
So they wanted to prove themselves before going out to get who knows who they're going to get.
It did have certain, like you say, the first 15 minutes, great. I wouldn't have checked. Brilliant. It was perfect. The first 15 minutes was perfect. It was like, I was like, wow, they know what they're doing. Then it went down the toilet. And I think it was Kung Lao with the razor hat. He was amazing. And I thought Kano was funny.
Didn't he die?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Movie?
And he was like one of the best ones when he gets to the hat or throws it on the floor of the girl and then slides. And I was like,
that was my favorite part, or my favorite kill specifically.
Yeah, like I was like, right, he's like a boss character. He's like proper decent. And I was like, and straight after that, probably took his soul. And I'm like, you've just removed like one of the factors in the film that was worth watching it for, and it just. But Cole,
the thing that I was most disappointed about in that Mortal Kombat movie, and this goes with all the other Mortal Kombat movies that came previous to it, was they all felt really small. They all felt like they were shot on a tiny set and then CGI'd a whole bunch of stuff in just to give this desert planet look. And I was like, cool, they have a chance to rectify that. And what do? the same exact shit. It
Yeah.
felt small. It was contained. They literally had a wall they could not escape past the building. You know, that little bubble thing that they couldn't get through.
Yeah.
It was so ridiculous. That movie was such a letdown.
Here's a question I've got for all of you. Then you've both seen the original, yeah, the 1995 Mortal Kombat. What's a better movie, the newer one or the older one?
Older. I don't even have to think about it. I don't even like the older one, but it's better.
Yeah, I'm the same.
I don't really remember it because I was on a date when I saw the original one.
I like the original.
I was in 6th grade with a girl, and her sister was there. And then we were trying to hold hands through the movie, and her sister kept calling us out in the middle of the theater.
Wow.
So I don't really remember that movie.
I say the original, just simply because I got to see the fight with Reptile, and I love that fight. Oh, that fight with Reptile and Liu Kang is just, mate, I love it. But yeah, and
the look on Seth's face right now.
Do you know what?
Thinking of Reptile, I'm sure.
I hate this movie. I'm sorry. When I first watched this movie, I was like, oh, that's kind of disappointing. The more I think about it, and I've watched it a second time, actually, somehow I've not even bothered. I can't.
Watched it 3 times.
I watched it a second time, and it might sound like I'm being over dramatic, but as someone who's a huge fan of the Mortal Kombat games and the story, this is probably one of the worst movies ever made. I hate this movie with a passion because they're prioritizing. This is their biggest mistake. They're prioritizing. I like the way someone put this. They're prioritizing gore over lore.
That's a good one. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
They're like, oh, the people see the blood. They don't care about the story. And like, if you talk to someone who just casually plays Mortal Kombat games, they're like, oh, no one plays that games for the story. It's like, yeah, you're not wrong. But if you give the story a chance, it's actually really good.
There's more. Yeah, there's more to
so
it.
Like,
just, yeah.
If they were to actually adapt it, then
do you guys think they can rectify this in a sequel, or do you think they should just scrap it, be done with Mortal Kombat, and move on with their lives?
I think there's a chance. I think there is a chance they can fix this franchise with this movie.
I'm not gonna be better than that.
I'm not going to. I'm not going to get my hopes
up from here, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to get my hopes up, but I think there is a chance that they could fix it. But if this movie comes out and I don't like it, I still don't like it, I'm just going to give up on the franchise.
Do you know what? I thought the YouTube series was better than that film.
I've never actually seen the YouTube.
Do you know what?
There's a YouTube series.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat YouTube series.
And
was it called? Is it called Legacy?
Yeah, Mortal Kombat Legacy is a billion times better than that movie. Much
How does that
better.
happen? How does this happen? Like they did the same thing with the Power Rangers. They came out with that YouTube Power Rangers short film that was way better than the one that came out in the studios and actually in theaters. What the hell?
That story, it tells that story. It tells that story, yeah, over I think 45 minutes of an hour of Sub-Zero and Scorpion, and it ends with them having a face-off, and it's hardcore violence. Like, oh my god, like, and Scorpion in it is just, he's brutal. He's brutal.
Don't get me started on Scorpion. You know, only speaking Japanese throughout the entire movie until he says his tagline. You know, get over here.
Yeah.
It's the only time.
Come on.
What is?
And then
I could go on all day about how much.
And with that, now you've just said that in the YouTube Legacy version, there, I don't know if it's Japanese, what this Chinese, Korean, whatever they speak, I don't know, Mandarin, whatever language they're speaking. The whole thing is like that. And even when he says "get over here," whatever it is in whatever the language they're speaking, it's no English. It's all subtitles. It's amazing.
Right.
It's so much better.
And I believe Scorpion saying that to Sub-Zero, who also doesn't speak English.
Yeah, and Sub-Zero's
they never spoke.
You should
English
check that.
to each
Yeah,
other.
you should. It's a bit YouTubey, cheesy. You know, it's not as high end budget as the movie was to an extent, but it was still better. It was just still better than what that movie was, and that says something, doesn't it?
They could they did Scorpion so dirty because he was in the main promotions for the movie. You know, he's in every single poster. Every single poster has 2 characters in it, Sub-Zero and Scorpion. So they're really promoting Scorpion. He's in 2 scenes.
That's why I wanted to. It's
because at the beginning and the end. And the end,
Cash Grab, the movie.
And the end, because he shows up out of nowhere and he's just like, I am Scorpion now. Okay, that's an actual line that he says.
I know.
I am Scorpion now. It's like, why? Why are you
should just
Scorpion
have
now?
Yeah,
You
exactly.
should just have a name tag. You know,
Scorpion.
it says it has like a logo on it. It says like Underworld, like that's where he works, Underworld, you know, or Hell or whatever, and it says Scorpion. You know, Employee of the Month picture in the back.
You know,
Go on.
Oh, I was just gonna say this franchise, and people are going to disagree with me probably. This franchise should not start with Mortal Kombat. They should do standalone movies. Sub-Zero can hold a standalone movie.
Yeah.
Just tell his whole origin story.
That's
then
what
do
I
a
thought was going
Scorpion
to happen,
movie.
you know.
Yeah.
Then maybe even if they want to do a Raiden movie of him like fighting Shinnok.
It needs the
It's cool.
Marvel treatment before you get to this tournament sort of thing.
It does. And they didn't
that's-
even do the tournament. That's the thing.
Do
The
you know what?
tournament wasn't even in this movie.
That's what killed it. When the way Sub-Zero was introduced and in that first 15 minutes, all I was thinking of was, wow, this is so much better than I thought it was going to be. And then I thought they're going to have the intro credits and all that. And I'm thinking, right, now it's going to go to Hell or wherever, and it's going to show how he becomes Scorpion and
That's what I
why.
thought
And
we'd
then
get.
and I was thinking, this is going to be great. And then it just goes to Boston or wherever with Jax or whoever it was. And I was like, well, where's Scorpion then? Like, what? Like, what's going on now? And then I can't. That's it, really. There is just nothing else. It's that first 15 minutes. That's the film to me.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Yep. That's it. So just like Mortal Kombat 2, we are also moving forward here.
Such a shame as well, though, because there's so, like Seth said and you said, there's so much story and stuff that they could do, and it really ain't like we've just sat here again and gone, just show this is how Scorpion ways. It ain't hard to please fans. Like, it just isn't.
No, it's not. But we could sit here and talk about that all day because it was a shitty movie that didn't have to be shitty. Had so much potential, and they just did the same exact thing and copy and pasted the previous movies.
And you have seen The Raid, haven't you? The Raid Redemption, the martial arts movie. Have you seen that?
I've never seen it.
Right, you need to put that on your list. The reason I brought that up is because the martial arts in that is so over the top insane. When you've got actors like that around, when you know what I'm saying, when you see people like that around, you go, well, why the heck ain't they in something like? Well, the guys are there. You've got all the people there to make the movies, but there you go.
All right, Ramon, tell me.
Yes,
I think you've told us before, but how are you feeling now about Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
You're not going to wind me up, mate.
I thought you were warming up. I thought you were a little bit because I think you got excited that it was a direct sequel to the
you know
first.
what? My heart says I'm sick of sequels. You know how I feel about sequels. There isn't really, other than the Batman this year, there ain't really many films where I'm like, yeah, man, I can't wait for that. So I've kind of been drawn to this a bit more, and I wouldn't say like I'm super excited, but I am looking forward. Like, I am looking forward to it coming out, and I just hope that it's good. I'm just a bit worried that it might be a bit, bit pants, and it might be a bit weak. But if they go, I just hope personally that they go down the route where it's just your hardcore violence and he's an absolute madman. That's all I want.
With that being said, we'll be able to get at least a vibe from the movie because the trailer drops tomorrow.
Yes.
Which you've told me previously.
I'm not gonna.
You're not
this
gonna
year,
watch
I'm
it.
not. Do you know what it is? I've realised through opening and doing my own channel, I've realised that trailers now give away. And I think I've said this on here before. They give away so much, and I know we're like, if it's a big movie, if it's like your Spider-Man and we're going to be discussing it and stuff like that, cool, I'll watch trailers. But in general, I'm going to kind of stay away from stuff because I think it gives away everything. I wish I hadn't have watched none of the Spider-Man stuff because I would have been blown away if I didn't know anything. So, like this one, Texas Chainsaw, like it's out in 2 weeks. I don't need to ruin anything. I don't need to know. And I'd rather just watch it blind and be like, oh wow, like I just don't need to see it. So, but I just hope it's excited for it. Yeah, I just hope it's a good. I don't know if you would call it a slasher or because he's a chainsaw, but you know what I mean. I just hope we get a good, just stupid horror, man. No, you know what I mean.
Slashes people with a chainsaw.
Yeah, I just hope we get a good. That's it. Like, I'm expecting like a mediocre 6, 7 out of 10 kind of film. If we get something better than that, I'll be over the moon.
You're a huge fan of the original. right?
Massive, yeah.
Right. So
so
beautiful.
The dude in the wheelchair and the chainsaw straight into him. sorry.
Okay. They released. You creep me out, dude. They released a new poster that gives you a little bit. How's this for accuracy for you?
Oh wow! That's from the.
This is a new poster. Yeah.
That's cute, isn't it? Oh, he's so cuddly. Like, whoa.
I want this movie to be something that like you love. I want you to be like just like Peacemaker.
I want to come away, come away and be this. That's what I mean. I'll be honest with you. Again, that's why I'm worried about it, because I hope they don't make it too focused on just stupid and nothing really happening, like one of them ones. I just hope I just want to see is just a bunch of kids in a car. Oh look, this is where that supposed story happened and blah blah blah. Let's check it out. Oh, let's camp here, and then he's just there chasing them the whole movie. I'm happy with that. Like, I don't need a lot.
Yeah, I'm excited for it, but what I'm mostly excited for is its potential to make me enjoy Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies, because right now they're very low on my list of horror movies. Like, I am just not a fan. Like, I like one of them that came out, the one that had Jessica Biel in it. I enjoyed that one.
Remake, yeah, that was the only. I'd say the first one, the second one, and that one are the only decent ones.
But I have never really connected with the franchise.
So romantic, man.
So like, I hope this one ignites something in for me, like the way Rob Zombie's Halloween ignited my love for the Halloween series.
Yeah, but do you know another reason I appreciate and love the film so much, honestly, and I know it's a bit pathetic to say, the only reason I love those so much, it's not so much that I watch the original and I say, this is a brilliant movie. It's because of the time that it was made, that it got banned at the time, and everything that spawned from it. So it's a bit of both. It's a bit of, I love the movie. I've seen it a load of times, but I can appreciate it's not a brilliant horror movie. But Devil's Rejects wouldn't exist without that, man. Right. House of a Thousand Corpses doesn't exist without that. That whole vibe, the Hillbillies, the Wrong Turn, all of them movies all exist from that.
The Hills Have Eyes.
They all exist from that creation of that creepy hillbilly thing in the woods and all of that. And that's kind of another reason I put it so high on my list, because it influenced everything and it changed everything for horror. So, I mean, it's so dated, the original. It's very dated, but I just love it. That first scene, man, they walk in the house and the hammer just straight over the dude's head and the girl gets put up on the hook and I got it. Sorry, it's so funny, bro. And she's screaming and he just lifts her up on the meat hook. Sorry,
Ramon, your love of murder is
do you know what it is? No, it's because
I had to tell you multiple times that murder is not the answer.
No, I know. It's because of that same thing. Like, you know, when you watch Halloween, Michael Myers and that, you don't watch it and go, oh wow, it's cool or whatever. I think it's the genre I most enjoy because it's a nervous thing. It scares the hell out of me. That's what I want. I want to watch that movie and then I want to have a bit where there's like a girl hiding in a cupboard or something and I'm like, it's gonna happen now, like, and the chains. I want to feel that fear again, like I felt as a kid when I was watching that sort of stuff.
Well, let's hope they do. Let's hope they do.
I hope so.
I have faith in it. So far, what they're putting out looks potentially good.
I don't know. Do you know what? I'll have to have a look up and see with the director, because I haven't even gone that far to see the other work they've done. If there's anything, like, they might, you know what I'm saying? Like, I should really look up the director, because there might be other work and we'll be like, oh, wow, you know, but I haven't done that yet.
All right. Last thing we're going to talk about, I need to make this a little quick because I got to start going to my show here. Seth, have you watched episode 5 yet?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Because I want to talk about some spoilers when it comes to Peacemaker episode 5. I'm still enjoying the show. This episode freaked me out a little bit right at the beginning. What I was telling you about, how I felt like the comedy was going to be played too hard into. When I can never remember the dude's name, when he's harping on dyed beard guy,
John.
You know,
John,
when he's harping on him and he's making all these jokes when they're sitting in that kind of classroom setting, and he's making all these jokes. It reminded me of Guardians of the Galaxy 2, ironically also written by James Gunn, when they kept laughing at their own jokes and like it wasn't funny because they were acting like it was so funny. You know what I'm talking about, Seth?
Yeah.
Okay, I felt that from like at the very beginning of the movie, but then it played out. Like they played into that through the rest of the show, and it made more sense. But episode 5, it's still holding strong. It's starting, the story's starting to pan out a little bit more, and I'm not getting disinterested at all. So like it's still holding my interest. I'm eager to watch the next episode. I was happy. I was like, oh, there's still 3 more episodes after this one. Thank goodness, because I'm really enjoying this series. What did Seth? What did you think about Peacemaker episode 5?
It's my favorite episode so far. Really? I don't know why I'm liking this show so much. Like, it's just really entertaining.
Yeah.
I think John Cena's good at acting. Like, I wasn't expecting that. Like, because the WWE stars are not that good at acting. Sorry, Dwayne Johnson.
Well,
you're entertaining to watch. You're a nice guy, but you're not great at acting.
I wouldn't say he's great at acting yet. I'd say he's really good at doing this role. Let's put him in a more serious role and see how he does. I wouldn't.
Well, but the thing is that he's good with the serious moments.
Yeah.
Of Peacemaker, like the part where he's like at the part specifically in the Suicide Squad where he's about to kill Ratcatcher, or when he's fighting, or like a whole sequence actually right before he fights Rick Flag too. There's no jokes.
You know what? You're right. I do take that back, because now that you brought that up, I do remember me saying that that the Suicide Squad did to John Cena that Army of the Dead did with Dave Bautista. It made me realize that he does have some acting chops. So you're right. I do go back on what I just said.
And I didn't watch this episode until last night, but I don't know how I avoided knowing that there was a gorilla.
Mate? That was so. And I was upset at the same time because I'm an animal lover and I didn't want nothing to happen to the gorilla, but I kind of put it out of my head. And it's a monster gorilla. Forget it. It's not real.
They went evil. They went Evil Dead on that gorilla. They went Evil Dead.
My jaw was on the floor when I saw the gorilla. I was like, there is no way. I was like, there is no way they went there. Like, wow.
Question. I got a question for you, gentlemen. Maybe they mentioned it early in the episode or in the series, but I'm watching the past couple of episodes and I'm beginning to question, are the butterflies bad? Like evil? Besides the fact that they take over somebody parasitically, but like, what do they
evil.
do?
That's it. That's evil. They take over.
They take over.
So it's kind of like the invasion of the body snatchers. Like,
well, I'm looking at this dude. I'm looking at this guy right here.
Yeah, Mern. Clemson Mern.
What's his deal? Like he doesn't seem to be brainwashed too much.
Because it's infiltrating to take over humanity. That's the whole point, isn't it? So
I don't know if that's his whole point. Like he seems to be
maybe they're not. Yeah, maybe they're not.
Well, I meant his point, because he seems to have a different agenda. Like I think he's wanting to take out all the other butterflies so he can have the one food source they have for himself.
Maybe.
I feel like that's his agenda. And this episode ended with a cliffhanger where he was about to get into a fight with I cannot remember these characters' names. Thank you. He's about to get in a fight with her, but we never actually see him attack her. We just see her constantly running from him.
Yeah.
So we don't know if he's
so
going
good,
to be
man. It
bad
really
yet.
Is such a good show, and I think as well, to sort of spin off of what Seth was saying, like I think the biggest fear I had of this, without really being too harsh, I didn't want to see it because John Cena was in it, and it's not in a bad way, but I was like, is he really a good, is he going to be able to hold a show? And I think it was, I know it's called The Peacemaker, but it really was all on his shoulders, because if he's not convincing in the role on his own, the show's it's over, it's finished. And to me, he's convinced me completely, because I just don't want it to end. Each week, I know like it's just a TV series and stuff like that, but each time it ends, I'm kind of like, ugh! Like I'm not normally like that with a lot of shows. Like you kind of like, oh yeah, cool, I'll watch next week's one. But I'm like, I can't wait for the next one because I know what it's about and the vibe that I'm getting from it. I know you're a bit of a mixed bag when it comes to the comedy, but man, I love it. Like when that part you were just sitting there and you said you was a bit like that with when they're sitting around the table, bro. I was laughing my ass off. And then Clemson Man says, "Anyone got any more questions?" And then Vigilante says, "You've got satellite TV." And they're like, "What?" And he goes, "Oh, well, shut up then." Like, what does that have to do with anything? What does that have to do with what they're talking about? It's got nothing to do with what they're talking about. And I just burst into laughing because that's the sort of crap I come out of. It's got nothing to do with it. But that's what I love about it because it's just so... And the part in the van when he's talking about the bands and all of that sort of stuff. And then they got in and they're all like rocking their heads and they're slowly coming around to working as a group.
Yeah, that was a great part. I enjoyed those coming together moments as well.
Yeah,
I just thought at the beginning, like it as I said, it panned out through the rest of the show a lot better. But that first bit where Peacemaker's doing going off on John, I was like, I was like, this is what I'm talking about. This is exactly what I was talking about.
Could have arrested someone else, like who? Ariana.
Joke.
Ariana Grande. Drake. Sorry, that's so funny. That's funny, bruv. That's funny. I'm sorry, that's funny.
But all around, the show is great. If you haven't watched it, please watch Peacemaker. I'm sure it's like the number 1 show in like the world or something right now.
It passed Boba Fett.
Past what?
It passed Boba Fett.
Oh, Boba Fett. Of course it did.
Yeah, but Boba Fett is a popular character, and I wouldn't necessarily.
Have you heard about that?
I don't know about anymore.
Have you heard the latest on that at all?
I know we're running out of time, so I'm going to make this really quick. I watched the newest one without catching up.
That's what I needed to say. Brilliant, isn't it?
It's a great episode.
I know.
Because Boba Fett wasn't in it?
Because Boba Fett wasn't even in it. Like,
what is going on there? Exactly.
It's just a Mandalorian bonus episode. That's what this was. This had nothing to do with anything.
That's what
they could have just had him show up.
That's what I was telling Ramon on his channel when I was doing a discussion with him last Thursday. I was like, what if when they came up with the Mandalorian and everyone's like, well, why isn't it Boba Fett? Why isn't it Boba Fett? That they designed Boba Fett to be so bad that people will now love the Mandalorian even more. And like that's why they're putting that episode 5 is like a Mandalorian episode. They're like, hey, just a reminder of how much you love this show. The next week we go back to this terrible show that you don't like about the character you demanded a show for.
There's only 2 episodes left.
That's what I'm saying. It's not. I wouldn't go as far as saying it's sabotage, like I said on that video, but something doesn't feel right when you can have a show that terrible to be that bad, that forgetful, and then have one episode come in like the one you just watched and be like, this was like that should have been like episode 1. That should have been episode 1 of the new series. Like you're like, wow, that was amazing. I can't wait for the next. I'm dreading it this week now. Boba Fett's going to be back in it. Is the level just going to just drop back down again? Like,
man, that sucks. Like I couldn't imagine. Like I would just give up on it. I would
doesn't
just
make
watch
sense.
If I felt this way about Peacemaker, and I'm like, oh my god, I don't want to watch next week, but it's my responsibility as a content reviewer. Like I'd be like, fuck it, no, I don't want to watch this stupid shit, and I wouldn't do it. I applaud you, Ramon, for having integrity on your channel. I would just given up on it.
It's just because, again, if it was like 10, 15 episodes, I wouldn't be bothering. But it's, it's not. They're only 40 minutes. They're not.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what the heck is going to happen. Is Mandalorian going to stay in it now to the end? So it's going to be good. Because if he does, then I'll have a little bit of hope. But
I'll tell you what's going to happen is, I said this last week, final episode, someone's going to show up. And that's all anyone's going to talk about. All anyone's going to talk about is the cameo, whatever it is at the end of the final episode, and the Mandalorian episode. Who knows who it'll be? Han Solo is...
and not people for Han Solo,
People are guessing it's Han Solo.
It's sad though, really. When jokes aside, it's quite sad though when something of a brand as big as Star Wars that's what we've actually got for the show. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
I bet the cameos, if it is Han Solo, it's not going to be Han Solo directly. It's going to be Chewbacca, then Han Solo. Because Chewbacca is going to be like, it's not the first thing that they see Han Solo, they're going to be like, oh, not Harrison Ford. But if you bring in Chewbacca first, they're like, okay. And then the other guy who played Han Solo. Okay.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing, though. Something was pointed out to me that I didn't know, and that's this. Indiana Jones halted filming so many times because of COVID and stuff like that.
And he got injured, yeah.
Yeah, but for other reasons, too. Harrison Ford was just sitting on the Disney lot while Boba Fett was also filming. Meaning he was there.
Is Indiana Jones not part of that? Part of Disney friend?
It is. It's part of that. That's meaning Harrison Ford was there too. Like he was just sitting there. He had nothing else going on. So people are thinking, well, he had nothing going on. So maybe they kind of
hold on. Maybe I'm confused here. So Harrison Ford is making a movie that's being made by Disney, and he's sitting on the lot at Disney, and people think, oh man, what's he doing at Disney? He must be in the new Boba Fett show.
Indiana Jones halted filming.
Okay, but so
he wasn't doing anything.
So how do we know he's not? He could be in there talking script. He could be in there saying, "Hey, I don't like this scene. Hey, can we reshoot this stuff?" It doesn't mean like he's not doing anything. We don't know what this guy's doing day to day. You know, you can't be like, "Oh my God," you know, Joe Biden was sitting.
He was doing Boba Fett.
I don't know where I'm going with Joe Biden.
It's called a theory. You know, I'm not saying that he is 100% filming things for Boba Fett. I'm saying, hey, here's an idea.
right, but having a theory and saying, well, he's got nothing going on, you're adding something to that theory that you don't know. You don't know he's got nothing going on.
That's what theory is.
No. Theory is
no.
Theory is taking your facts.
It?
No, theory is not.
But is it though?
No, theory is
but
not.
Is
theory is not.
But is it though?
Nope.
We win again. Victory is ours. Well done, Seth.
He's not even gonna add himself back. I just see he's sitting down there. So anyway, maybe now I can finally speak. So yes. Harrison Ford.
I think he'll turn back. I think he will. I think he'll come back into the show.
Maybe Harrison Ford actually is in Boba Fett.
I think I'm gonna go with that. I think he'll come back for maybe the finale. That's what I reckon. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Harrison Ford will be Han Solo in the finale of Boba Fett.
So what do you think is going to happen with the Mandalorian season 3 then? Where's that going to go?
I have no idea where that could go. I feel like they're going to slowly build up to like a big crossover event because now they have all these other shows going. You know that they're doing Boba Fett. Who knows if that'll get more than one season? But they're doing Boba Fett. They're doing an Ahsoka show. Supposedly they're doing Rangers of the New Republic. I don't know if that's still happening, but I feel like this is all going to build up to one giant event against, I'm gonna guess, Thrawn.
Yeah, Admiral Thrawn. Yeah.
Yeah, Ahsoka will introduce Thrawn to live action. You know, kind of get him. Kind of introduce him to new people.
And Obi-Wan is out at some point. I think that's
Obi-Wan is out. I'm wondering if that will
Harrison Ford is he even took time to write a long old message. He was spotted
on Twitch. Oh wait, no, I see. No, it goes
other
to Twitch
reason
too.
Than he owns it now. See, I think he's sulking, you know. I think he's sitting there watching this sulking. That's what I think he's doing.
I can see his picture down there. He's crying. He's upset.
I'm not crying, you little shit. Listen, I'm telling you this right now. All I was trying to say is a theory.
What?
A theory is something you don't. Come on.
Yeah, but that's what he was doing. A theory.
Let me get this out, okay? A theory is not something you fill in the gaps of making up your own stuff to it. You're saying, oh, Harrison Ford's got nothing else to do. You don't know that. You don't know. You're making that up to fit into your theory, but making that's not what a theory is.
Making theory, up, aka guessing. AKA
no.
Theorizing.
Theory is taking facts and saying, well, these facts put together could mean this. Not these facts plus this thing I made up put in there. That's what fits into my narrative.
But the thing is
that's all I was.
It's not like, say. But it's not some like out of this world idea though. Like he was on the Disney lot while Boba Fett was filming, and Indiana Jones.
He's working for Disney, making
Indiana Jones
movies.
And Indiana Jones wasn't working. They weren't filming.
Right.
So
it's his 5th movie. It's his career. He's obviously got. Why wouldn't he? Okay. Again, going back to like, let's say I work at Chipotle, or let's say I work at
How did
McDonald's.
you get that comparison? Where did that?
I just came up with the Almas. Let's say I work at McDonald's. Okay, I have a day off at McDonald's, so I decided to go to another McDonald's and have a burger that day. Somebody sees me at that McDonald's and says, "Oh, Steve must be running this McDonald's because he's got nothing else to do." Like, no, I'm just going to have an eat at this McDonald's, even though my McDonald's is shut down. I know it's not the greatest analogy, but my point is
not
just because.
But what you've just said is described that this person said that person's gone there, so maybe they're working there now. So what you're saying is that person had a theory about it.
Right. Well, only assuming that I have nothing else to do. That's the part I'm harping in on.
Right. And this is if he had nothing else to do.
Didn't say if he had nothing else to do. You said he has nothing else to do. That's the difference. You're adding in, you're making your opinion fact.
Your theory. You said it. You nearly said it.
No, I didn't nearly say it.
No, I didn't.
My point is, son, is that when you're coming up with theories and stuff like that, that's fine, but don't add in something you don't know.
But it was
you don't know he has nothing else to do. He could have a galaxy of other things to do at Disney.
Okay, well, here's the thing. I'm assuming he has nothing else to do purely because he's working on Indiana Jones. That's why he's at the Disney lot. Indiana Jones is not doing anything. They aren't doing anything. So he's there while Boba Fett is filming.
Okay, but why? Okay, so are they going to give him the de-age treatment that they did with Luke Skywalker too? Do you think they're going to do that?
Would. Yeah, I don't see why they wouldn't. Like,
listen, I want him to be in there. I don't want the new Han Solo to be in there. But
how about this? If Harrison Ford doesn't show up as Han Solo, you have to shave your head live.
No.
Oh, come on.
I'll even watch the show. I'm nowhere near emotionally invested enough for that.
So what you're saying is Seth was right. It was a theory, right? So what's next?
Exactly.
No. I'm trying to teach him a lesson.
I haven't learned anything. You haven't taught me anything.
Don't make up shit and say it's fact because it fits into your theory.
It's not like I came out here and said Han Solo is in Boba Fett. It's 100% happening.
But you did say
then maybe
he has nothing to do. Because he has nothing to do. You
just
have
like
no
arguing.
idea.
That was his theory.
I don't like arguing. I'm trying to avoid you from talking to somebody else and then they call you out in a much more dramatic way. I'm trying to teach you, just when you say something, add in, if he has nothing else to do, then why would he be here? Bring it up as a question, not as a fact. Oh, he has nothing else to do. There's no other reason why he's there.
This is going to look bad if he turns up. I'm just saying this is going to look bad because he was right. Just saying.
Well, hey, he might be right. I don't know. I'm just trying to, you know what? Over y'all's heads, man. Trying to teach valuable life lessons here.
I think we've all learned something here.
Look at this.
Oh, that's cool.
Thanks.
This is Snoopy.
It's Batman's motorcycle from the new movie. Maybe it's Catwoman's actually. I don't know.
I think
it might be Catwoman's.
I think Seth just has the new movie at his house.
Oh, I do. Yeah, no, because I can't remember if I showed it live, but I have this too. And I'm not going to bring it up because it's big, but I have the entire Batcave.
You brought that up last week.
I know.
I think it was backstage though.
Yeah, I think that was backstage.
Yeah.
See?
All right. Well, that was fun. Guess we'll end on that note. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in this week. We appreciate you joining us for our ups and downs in our episode. Please head over to Ramon's channel, Hit or Miss TV, and check out his content. Please head down to Seth's channel. I'm sure he has his own channel because he's got nothing else going on. I know that for fact. So I'm sure he's got his own content somewhere. All right.